Welcome to another episode of the Pound for Pound Boxing Report. I'm your host, Michael. Joining me this week, join us live from the UK, EJ Boxing Live. Join us from New Jersey, Isha, get it right. Sean Newton to join us from Taiwan. Jay Dill joining us. Daniel joining us as well. What's going on, ladies and gents?
Hey, how are you?
All good, man.
Good. Everything's good.
Yep. All right, for those who are new to the Pound for Pound Boxing Report, the Pound for Pound Boxing Report is a live YouTube show / podcast / blog that discusses all things boxing. The motto is, when boxing is good, we will talk about it. When boxing is bad, we will talk about it. Bottom line is, if it concerns boxing, we will talk about it. If you want to find information about the Pound for Pound Boxing Report, please check out the blog page, p4pboxingreport.wordpress.com is the link. If you look to the right of the page, you'll find the links to where to find us all over. Social media all over the internet, the 2G Plus pages, the YouTube page, the Facebook page, the Tumblr page, the Twitter handle, which is at P4P Boxing Report, the Podomatic page. You can find previous episodes of the podcast to find a link where you can find us on Stitcher Radio. We're on Stitcher Radio. Just go to StitcherRadio.com. Just search for the Pound for Pound Boxing Report. That's POUND. The number 4 POUND Boxing Report. Also got links to the RSS feed if you want to subscribe there and check us out there. Pinterest board. We're on Flipboard magazine. Just again look for POUND, the number 4 POUND Boxing Report. And last, the email address, which is p4pboxingrpt@gmail.com. And lastly, the link where you can donate your account. The link for that is donateyouraccount.com/P4P Boxing Report. What happens is any tweet that comes from the Pound for Pound Boxing Report Twitter page, should you subscribe or donate your Twitter account, you will be able to retweet automatically any tweet that comes from the Pound for Pound Boxing Report Twitter page. Let's get this show started. Since we were off last week, I want to start the show by taking a look back at arguably the fight of the year a couple of weeks ago in New Jersey, PBC card, as Marco Huck attempting to break the cruiserweight record for title defenses. He crossed the shores from Germany, fought. I'm not going to try to pronounce his first name because I know I'll butcher it, but I'll pronounce his last name, Glowacki. Polish fighter by the name of Glowacki. Glowacki scoring a upset. Glowacki went down in round 6, but he hung in there. Put Huck down twice in the 11th round to capture the WBO cruiserweight title. We will talk about this before. I'll go to you on this one, EJ, first off, and then I'll go to you, Sean. Talk about the fight. We'll talk about it before the show began. Possible fight of the year. But I thought that Glowacki had a chance to upset Huck because Huck was so limited in his attack. And Glowacki I thought was the better boxer. What I didn't expect, the power of Glowacki. I didn't think he would be able to hurt Huck in the way that he did. Again, fight of the year, possibly. EJ, talk about it.
Yeah, man, that was a great fight, and I can tell you what, there, I didn't do my research as much. I'm gonna shout out to T. I don't know if you guys know him. He broke down the fight, and he actually done his research on Glowacki, and he was telling us he's a very slick fighter. He's not easy to hit, and he's gonna give Marco Huck some problems. But I just kind of override that and say, well, Marco Huck in his debut, there's no way they're gonna give him a guy that he's gonna lose against. And I tell you what, man, that fight right there, that Glowacki showed what it was about. That knockout, to be honest with you, I think it was in round 1 or 2, whatever, maybe round 1. That knockout he got hit with, I thought that was the end of it. And you could see Glowacki, it looked like a couple more minutes, it looked like Marco could finish him up, but he tightened up, he weathered the storm, and he put it on Marco. And I tell you what, man, he was outpointing Marco up until the point where Marco got stopped. And I'm telling you, that was way impressive. And that's what you like about boxing, showing what you're made of. And Glowacki went ahead and got that title. I'm going to remember that dude. You want to see him next, yeah? Marco Huck, it looked like that was his US debut. He's been going against, Povetkin over there, heavyweight. He's been against loads of guys. And I don't know, maybe, when it comes to a fighter, is the end of the road for him in terms of there's only so much you can go to the world. Has he worn out? Is all the fights got to him? And I don't know, but I think Glowacki just showed enough. And I heard Marco has having a problem with the weight as well. You remember, he usually fights in Germany, has everything comfortable, but he came out of his comfort zone, which is a great thing for him. But I heard they're talking about a rematch maybe back in Germany, whatever. But what a great win for Glowacki. Now he's got a possible fight against Alexander Usyk, and that's what's his name, Ali Bashir's fighter. He's the #1 contender for that, so we'd like to see that. But that fight right there, right now, I've got that #1 over Mitchell and Linares as fight of the year, just because of the circumstances, and he overcame, because obviously with Mitchell he didn't overcame. But that one there, that Glowacki, fight of the year for real. And I tell you what, the PVC is rolling, bro. I hear no criticism. In fact, I shouldn't hear no criticism on that fight right there. That gave everything you need to see in a fight. So, boy, man, shout outs to PBC, Al Heyman, and shout out to Marco Huck and Glowacki putting on a great fight. And hopefully we see them two and see where them two go. So that was a very great fight. I enjoyed it.
I'm going to go to you, Sean, and then you can follow up, Isha. Your thoughts on the Glowacki's upset win over Marco Huck?
It's like I was saying in a video in the past, just talking about the quality of the cruiserweight division and how it's sort of underestimated and overlooked. This is a fight, personally, you know, I know Huck and I'm aware of him, but his opponent I wasn't too educated on. So I was really surprised with the great action and the outcome. You know, I mean, it just shows, you know, the competitiveness at this weight and how this weight should get a little more PR and a little more push, because they've been putting out great fights and they have lots of great young fighters in there as well. And I'm looking forward to the rematch back in Germany to see if Huck can fix his wrongs. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I was just saying.
Okay.
You know, I thought it was a great fight, and I'm looking forward to part 2.
Okay. I'm going to go to you, Isha. You actually attended the fight. Give us a sense of the vibe within the crowd. Usually when you watch fights on television versus fights up close, there's a bit of a difference because television at times tends to desensitize the action. From your knowledge, your expertise, attending the fight, being at the fight, your observation, the fight itself, and as well as the crowd and the reaction, particularly what Huck went down twice in round 11, the fight stopped.
Right. I tell you right now, as far as being there, I didn't know who Glowacki was, but his people that came to support him was in my section, and those folks were so lit. And when I say lit, I mean they were so into this fight that I felt a part of whatever they were doing there. You know, I was standing up screaming Glowacki's name. They were trying to buy me drinks. They were trying to fight the fans of Hucks that was behind us. Man, I promise you, when Glowacki got dropped, I thought a fight was definitely about to break out in the stands next to me, because those guys was just on a whole new different level. Now, as far as the fight itself, like I stated, I didn't really know who Glowacki was, but I didn't dismiss him as much as other people did, because I watched the you know, the little interviews they do before, where it's like, what do you feel you have to do to win this fight? And he sounded so confident and so passionate that he was gonna win. I actually believed in dude. Whereas with Huck, I've seen a few of his fights, and I did a little bit of research before I went to the fight, and I watched a couple of his fights on YouTube, and it just seemed like he was just the same type of fighter, where he just does these wild swings and comes forward, and then he gasses out, and he did the same exact thing in this fight. Yeah, he caught Glowacki with that, he knocked him down, I think it was like round 2 or 3, but like you said, dude got up, you know, weathered through it, showed, you know, and took Huck out in the 11th round impressively. Now, when he knocked Huck down and then knocked him down again, and then the ref stopped it, boy, the stadium lit up. I mean, it was so loud. I got a headache, but it was so exhilarating that is the type of fight that I hope PBC continues to put on. It's like, not a lot of people knew who Huck and Glowacki was, but I bet you the next time they hear their name, whether it's from PBC or from a different card put together, that they're gonna want to watch that fight because of what that fight was. It was a great fight overall.
I'm gonna go to you, Jay Dale, and then finally you, Daniel. Your assessment of the fight, and if they were to fight again, your thoughts on the outcome. First, you, Jay Dale, and you, Daniel.
Well, this ain't gonna be like the Arslan fight where I felt like Arslan outworked Hook, a 40-plus-year-old guy.
Yeah.
Now, this rematch, it don't matter. Glowacki just got the type of style that Hook will feel uncomfortable about because he goes to the body. And whenever you go to that body, that slows down your cardio, your momentum, takes away some of your power. Huck was just trying to find spots in the fight just to keep his distance and just to throw offense here and there, throw spurts. He's a spurt type fighter. But the way he set up that left hook in the 6th round to drop Glowacki was brilliant. But after that, Glowacki just kept fighting him on the inside, throwing body shots after body shots. I knew that was going to wear Huck down eventually. But Huck fought like a man. So in the 11th round, Huck got hurt with that right hand, and then, that hook and then that right hand. He fell pretty hard. He tried to act brave and everything, and he just got his behind, whipped, and pretty much Huck fell on the ropes, looked pretty bad, and the ref stopped it. And it was just one of those feel-good moments in boxing. And pretty much, I enjoyed the fight. Now, as the fight of the year, I still enjoyed Linares Mitchell just as much as I enjoyed that. But, like, I think it was Sean that said it, or was it, no, it was Earl who said it. Earl said it was the circumstances that made it a feel-good fight. But overall, Marco Huck is always in exciting fights. His trilogies with Alpha Lobby and other guys, even against a 40-plus-year-old Arlon.
Even the Povetkin fight when he stepped up to heavyweight.
That fight was good too. But Marco Huck is a fun fighter to watch, and I would love to see a rematch, but I still got Glowacki because that guy just knows how to mix it up. He knows how to pivot in, and he stays busy. He's that type of fighter that makes you feel uncomfortable, and you're gonna have to work. And Huck is not that type of fighter who likes to work every round just to keep a dog off of him. So I enjoyed the fight, and I would love to see a rematch. Hopefully Huck comes for the juggler, and that's all I gotta say.
I'll go to you on this one, Daniel. Unmute your mic. Since you're new to the Pound for Pound Boxing Report, your assessment of Glowacki's win over Daniel Huck, and if a rematch occurs, what do you think will happen? Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. You got your mic on mute. Unmute your mic, please. Okay, he's not here. Yeah. Okay, he seems to he's having technical issues right now. So, can you hear us, Daniel? You got your mic on mute, so you may have to unmute your mic. But until you do that, I'm gonna move on. Since there was such a light week work in boxing wise over the past really all month long, I want to talk about a couple of things that's been happening in terms of press conferences and press tours. Gennady Golovkin, David Lemieux, they were currently on a press tour, as well as Miguel Cotto and Canelo Alvarez. They're currently on press tours right now, all over the place. Okay, you got your mic unmuted, Daniel. Quickly talk about Glowacki's upset win over Marco Huck, and if they were to fight again, your assessment, your thoughts.
Wow. That fight itself, like I said, that got into contention for fight of the year, round of the year, possibly upset of the year given the circumstances. Honestly, I'm surprised it lasted to the 6th round because when Huck landed that left hook, Glowacki almost missed the 10 count. So we almost missed a great finish to that fight, but it's true. Glowacki did that body work, and Huck has been known, unfortunately, to be one of those guys that gets into spurts and then falters off. But like Sean said, I agree with Sean that the cruiserweight division doesn't get enough love in general, and this was a great fight to introduce a casual fan to it, and it was a great fight, unexpectedly a great fight. And if they do a rematch, I think it was in Germany. If it will be in Germany, that thing could sell. And wow, it would probably wind up being the same result, but probably a much better round. Huck might actually pull it off this time, landing left hook. But it was a really decent fight. It surprised me a little bit to how good it got. How Glowacki got into the fight after the knockdown, but like I said, I was just amazed at how good that fight was. Especially considering the situation.
Let me ask an open question. Let me ask an open question for everybody. Should the rematch happen again and it happened in Germany, do you think Glowacki could win a decision, or would he have to knock him out? This is for anybody. Unmute your mic, everybody.
KO.
You saying he have to knock him out in a rematch?
I think so. Yeah. Sure.
Knock game. You gotta knock him out, man. If you don't knock him out,
I think that's just for anyone's backyard. You go to someone else's home, you coming in, you have to. I don't think getting a push win is very difficult in someone else's back home. So you better go in there with bad intentions to knock his block off his shoulders for sure.
Yeah, in Germany, if it's a fight in Germany, yeah, Glowacki has to knock him out. But everybody now knows that he can knock Huck out. So there's that element into it.
It's true. It's very, very true.
I don't think Huck gonna try to catch that fade again, because I think he knows the same thing's gonna happen again.
I tend to agree. I'm with Jay Dill on this. I think that Glowacki, it's just a bad style matchup for Marco Huck. Glowacki, one, he's a better technical fighter. He's more skilled, and finally, he's more consistent. He throws more punches, and what everybody else is saying here, Marco Huck is a spot fighter. He's a guy who fights in spurts. It cost him big time in this fight. At this point of his career, I think he's either 30 or over 30 now. He's not going to change. He can't change. He can't adapt. It's never been him, and it never will be him. I think in a rematch, should they fight, Glowacki would beat him again. Possibly sooner.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Isha.
Also keep in mind that up until Huck dropped him, and then even after the fact, Glowacki was taking all of those shots, even after the fact, after he got dropped. Right. So to me, Huck showed all that he had in his arsenal in that fight, and still lost. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you might have dropped dude, but he brushed that off his shoulder, got up, and kept going. And what did you do? Absolutely jack off.
Right. Power, Huck's, his joker, his big joker, if this is a game of spades, his big joker is his power. He played that big joker in this. He tried to play that big joker all throughout this fight, and it didn't work. As a matter of fact, Glowacki, he took his punches and came back and hit him hard.
Yeah, it worked the one time, and that was it.
Right, but when he got back up and fought hard, what did you see from Huck? He had really nothing.
And that was his mistake. Nothing. He didn't go in and for the kill after he took off the next round. Whether or not, okay, old buddy survived the round. Okay, give him that. All right, but still, after that kind of knockout, dude, did you see how he got knocked down, though? It was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to sleep. Good night, y'all. Like he said, he almost missed a 10 count. You feel what I'm saying? So with that in mind, coming back into the next round, Huck should have came out with everything he had to finish that fight. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. He took a break, and he paid for it at round 11.
I want to say something about that too, because I was watching it on TV when Sean Porter was doing the PBC broadcast, he mentioned it too, how he got caught, how got caught with a hook, how his hand completely dropped. It was just waiting for it to happen. I agree, Aisha. He might adjust to that to keep that hand up to avoid that punch. But wow, that's true.
What you
Huck
need to
didn't really
join?
show much afterwards.
Right, absolutely. What you need to join us live right now? Unmute your mic, brother. Unmute your mic. What you need? Are you there? What you need? I think he can't hear us right now. He got his mic on mute, so we're going to move on. As I was saying before, because nothing's really happening boxing-wise, the main focus of attention has been on the two press tours right now happening. Golovkin, Lemieux, Miguel Cotto, Alvarez. I'll go to you on this one, Sean. With the press tours and the coverage and whatnot, and the ticket sales and whatnot early on, your thoughts on the current press tours? What you've seen so far for Lemieux, for Golovkin and Lemieux, as well as Miguel Cotto and Canelo Alvarez?
You know, these things, I mean, they're there to like push the fight and get casual fans, people who like boxing but aren't diehards and interested, and try to build the matchup and make it seem more interesting and more competitive. In the Canelo Cotto fight, I mean, everybody knows that's a really competitive fight. So as far as that goes, it's an easy sell. You know, I mean, everybody that likes boxing knows that this is going to be a great fight. It has a natural rivalry between Puerto Rico and Mexico. So, you know, it's just obvious that it's going to be a good fight as long as it lasts. With the GGG fight, I mean, a lot of people are critical of GGG and the competition he's faced, and you know, they throw this out as Lemieux. You know, he's already been beat. He's been beat twice. He was stopped. But they fail to pay attention to the facts that he is a champion at this point. He looked great winning that championship, and he's done a great job. And he looked really, 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 really aggressive and dangerous in beating Ndam, who's a quality fighter. And, you know, anybody that really watches fighting or boxing knows that this is going to be an explosive fight for as long as it lasts. And, I mean, you can criticize Lemieux and say that it's an easy fight for GGG. But anybody that's saying that, I mean, they fail to pay attention to the fact that one of the criticisms that GGG has towards him, people often ask, how is he going to fight moving backwards? Because he is more of an attacking fighter. But when you fight another guy that's explosive and attacks like Lemieux, what's going to happen when he has to back up? And that's what makes it interesting. You know, this is going to be like an explosive fight, and who knows what will happen. But I mean, we know that it's going to be fun, it's going to be explosive, and you know, I think it's selling itself. As shown by the great pre-sale, and almost, I think at this point it must be a sellout fight in Madison Square Gardens. So I mean, you can see a lot of anticipation behind it.
Everybody else, unmute your mic, please, and this is for open for everybody, anybody. The press tours for Golovkin, Lemieux, Cotto, Alvarez, your thoughts? And this is for everybody. Unmute your mic, please. What you need, Daniel, EJ, JDL, anyone give any comments on it?
Yeah.
Press tours?
Yeah. Yeah, the press tours.
Oh, well, I probably like. There's two different feels to both of them. Like when you go to Triple G Lemieux, it's more organic to me. Like there's actually more like a more exciting hardcore fanfare towards it. That's mainly a great job by K2 Promotions in building up Triple G because that audience has blown up for him. Now for Cotto and Canelo, it seems pretty much like business as usual. We all know the rivalry. We know that it's an even matchup. We know that it's now going to be for a middleweight title, but probably the main difference between them is, to me, like the organic thing. The Triple G, the Lemieux, like the press conferences, even the field, they feel more organically better in that instance than Canelo Cotto. Doesn't mean that the fight's going to be better, but it's just the feeling that a more rabid fan base is like more excited for the Triple G fight maybe just because it's happening sooner than the Canelo fight, and well, that and the ticket issues have been happening with the Canelo and Cotto fight.
You didn't get that sense from Canelo Cotto when, for instance, they was out in L.A. and you had Canelo fans all over the place yelling for him?
Oh, no, I got that. Yeah, I got that into it. And like I said, but that was, to me, it was just standard for, I expect that now from Canelo press conferences. What I saw from Triple G Lemieux, particularly in NYC, I didn't expect that much fervor into it because, yeah, it's true. That thing is sold out. Madison Square Garden, I think, is still trying to find ways to get more seats into that fight because of how much it's selling.
EJ, J Dill, what you need? Any thoughts?
Yeah, man. The press, I think it's, they're doing what they're doing. They're quite amicable, friendly with it. The crowds are loving it. They're building it up. You see the Puerto Rican and the Mexican rivalry. Oscar De La Hoya. They're beating that drum. Jose Silliman, the WBC, not Jose Silliman, his son, Thingy Silliman, whatever. Beating that drum, building the anticipation. Cotto and Canelo, very respectful. Freddie Roach. You know what? There's no trash talking. Very professional. Pictures taken. We understand that in the ring, excitement's gonna go, but they don't need to trash talk each other. This is gonna be a great fight, and the press tour is what it is. It's like, are they gonna get into any sort of argument? They don't need to really. If they do, it'd be a bonus, but it is what it is. It's just a press tour. I wasn't overly. I was actually watching it today, actually, the second press tour, and it's just is what it is. I haven't really got anything to say about it. I'm just waiting. I can't wait to see them in the ring and fight.
Anybody else with opinion, or is it just like blah 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 standard press tour?
The reason why this press conference don't matter is because Cotto and Canelo both got boring personalities. I mean,
That is true.
I didn't want to go there, but
That is very true. I didn't want to be the one to say it. Thank you, JD.
so the point is, let's just see the fans talk the smack and let's see the fight. Mexico against Puerto Rico, and there you have it. That's what I say.
I'm excited to see if there's like a face-off between you and GGG. They will always do those face-off with Max Kellerman.
They did a thing. I just seen it on Twitter earlier today where Lemieux and GGG was sitting with Max Kellerman and he was doing some type of emoji questions.
Okay.
And Max was asking like Gennady how does he feel about the fight, right? And then he picked up an emoji that says like a bullseye, and then he'll ask Lemieux a question, and they had like these different emojis on the table. So I thought it was cute and fun at the same time.
Little Hello Kitty emojis.
Nah, it wasn't Hello Kitty. Get out of here.
I have a question.
Which card was Anguilo on again? Whose card is that?
Angulo.
Help me out here, EJ, because I forgot. Which card is Angulo fighting on?
It's either Abner Mares or the Cotto card. I just don't remember which one.
I think it might be this Abner Mares card.
Okay. You got your mic unmuted right now. What you need? Any thoughts on this?
Sorry, what are you saying?
We were talking about the press tours for Golovkin, Lemieux, as well as Cotto and Alvarez. You have any thoughts about anything that's stood out, in your opinion?
Nothing that stands out, just excitement, Of course, I'm excited about Canelo versus Cotto. That's a crazy, crazy fight. But other than that, I really ain't got nothing else to say, really.
All right, let's move on.
What do you guys think about the whole GGG being scared of Lemieux thing that was going on like last week?
Not buying it.
Nope. Not buying it.
I didn't buy that like I didn't buy that slap on the butt from Mayorga like that was real when we know it wasn't.
Why don't you? Well, you're not buying that. You think that was a work, yeah?
Yep.
I don't think so.
There was a report that it was. It was a report.
It was definitely a work, man.
Mayorga admitted that it was a work.
Right.
I don't think so.
Mayorga is a G when it comes to stuff like that, but that was Hollywood right there. That wasn't real, bro.
When has Mayorga ever done a work in any of his press conferences?
Probably all of them.
Like, which one?
Well, whenever he would drink beer and smoke cigarettes and everything else, it was all work.
When he does that, what about when he was with Fernando Vargas? Do you think that was a work? I don't think so.
I think that
De La Hoya wasn't a work either. He was.
Mayorga doesn't work. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He is what he is. He smokes in your face. He breathes smokes in your face. He's disrespectful. He says anything to upset you. And he spanked her on her butt. Like, he spanked her on her butt. Disrespect her. Like, I don't think that was...
Okay, let me say it like this. Why was she bent over in front of him anyways? Come on, man.
Trying to pick up something on the ground.
She couldn't kneel down. She bent over with her ass out, bro. With her ass out. Listen to what I'm saying. Coming from a female's point of view, any self-respecting fucking female is not gonna bend over in front of a dude like that. You understand what I'm saying? She's gonna bend down the other way, like from straight up to straight down, not fucking bent over like she's getting anyways. But she's gonna bend down the other way to pick up something off the ground, not that way. Come on, man. That was all a workup.
No. I don't agree.
He's never had a reputation. He hasn't got no reputation of doing no works, man. He's never. Like, people putting it out there like he done, and the way she bent down, listen, she was picking something off the ground. She's the promoter, right? And what she was doing, she was picking something off the ground or moving something. So when they were going to stand face to face, she didn't have somewhere to stand. That's what she was doing. Like, when she bent down, she didn't consciously think, he's going to hit me he's going to pat me on my butt. And like, self-respected, like, as far as I'm concerned, she was being very respectful.
Okay, but listen to what you're saying. You're saying that he doesn't have a reputation of not having a workup. So with this in mind, knowing why would she do it? Knowing that he's going to do something like that. That was provoking. That was provoked, man.
Mayorga does anything. He starts smoking a cigarette straight in Sheamus' face, man.
That good, yeah.
You guys aren't here understanding what I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Given the reputation that Mayorga has, she has to know it, and he has to know it. The question is, if she knows it, why would she even put herself even close to that kind of predicament?
She wasn't thinking that. She wasn't thinking that.
She would have to know that Mayorga's reputation for doing anything.
But she didn't stick her ass in his face. She was bending down trying to pick up something.
That's what I'm trying to say. You know what the thing is, you got to understand here. She's been talking to him the whole day, and she's the promoter, so she talks to his side, Shane's side to promote the fight. There's no way she was ever going to think that he'd ever do that.
I promise you, any other female would have bent down the other way to pick up whatever it was off the floor, bro.
Listen, if everyone's going to see it differently. That's the way you see it, and I know that's the way you saw it. Everyone's going to see it differently. For me, I didn't think it was a work. I think it was genuine, and I think like they were genuinely angry animosity towards Mayorga. They really want to do something towards him, man. I watched the whole press conference today, and I saw her, man. She was irate, man. She didn't even know what to do. She was so embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. She wanted to kill him and everything. But are they promoting the fight? Yeah. Am I gonna watch it? Yeah.
Immediately after that press conference,
I'm not paying for it. Is it gonna go more than 3 rounds? No. Shane's probably gonna knock him out, but it is what it is.
Immediately after that conference, Shane took to Twitter and said, "Thank you to all the female fans who are buying the fight. My lady says thank you, and you guys get to see a real gentleman fight for his girl's honor." Come on, man. Immediately afterwards, come on, bro.
Shane's consistent. No, Shane's consistently that's how Shane consistently is. And the thing is, the females, there's some female fighters on the card as well. And he's showing that he's respectful because there's, he's got 2 females fighting on the card, and that's what he feels like he's fighting for later. I don't see that as a work. I feel like Shane is consistently a very nice guy, so that's just my opinion. Everyone will see.
Okay, even if it isn't a workup, that shit was just way too fishy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
Let me bring up one point. You see when they were first getting there on the stage, and then father's one position, and then they're moving him, and they're like adjusting everybody and moving people, and they were all like setting up the whole scene. Like putting dad in position where then he can stop the son and get involved, and moving him from one position where she's going to stand. I mean, it all looked too fishy. And then the way he slapped her ass, he didn't like grab her ass and do anything. It was like this little tap. But the microphone was there, so you could hear it, so it was really loud.
Look at him. He's so fishy.
Little tap, like he didn't even want to do it. Like, oh my God, my wife's gonna see this and she's gonna cut my balls off.
He's so fishy. He would look. This is what I'm trying to say. If it wasn't her, he would have slapped Shane in his face for hitting his cigarette. The dude was. You heard him after. He said, "I don't really hate anyone. I do stuff to upset people." He was trashing Trinidad. De La Hoya, he brought Vernon Forrest, and this dude would do any and anything, and no one was saying previously that it was a work, only because
that was the old Mayorga. The old Mayorga, I do believe that he generally just disrespectfully hated everyone that he fought. This right here it didn't seem like that Mayorga is what I'm saying. Like it seemed kind of out of character, like it was forced. That's what I'm saying.
When they were doing the filming, Shane Mosley was again. Mayorga was jumping in on Shane Mosley. When they went to do the showdown in the place, he again blew smoke in Shane Mosley's face. That's Mayorga. If you guys don't know that by now, I mean.
No, I know that it's Mayorga, but I'm not disagreeing with you guys by any means. But what I'm saying is that this right here just seemed a little forced, out of character. It just seemed like it was scripted. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. It seemed more scripted than it was just off of sheer Mayorga haterism.
Between those two guys, man, it's real.
Of course, they have animosity towards each other.
That's some real hate right now going on. That feels very real to me.
I hear you.
He was totally trying to disrespect Shane Mosley's girlfriend. That's what he was trying to do.
Even after the first incident where Shane smacked a cigarette out of his mouth, which told you the same old fucking Mayorga stuff and the same old issue. It's still not selling. The fight still wasn't doing well, and they need to push it because the fight is here, and still they need to market it because it's and what do? They bring it to this next issue.
Listen, if Shane were, he's the worst actor ever. That's what I'm saying.
He's terrible.
And the thing is, again, when has Shane ever done any work? When has Shane ever done a work in any press conference? He's never done that. So all of a sudden, like, everyone's saying it's a work, but Shane's never got no reputation of doing a working thing, and nor has Mayorga. So why all of a sudden they're gonna? I don't understand why they would need to do that when they've had a rematch. And rematch, it's a rematch, isn't it? Like
no one wants to watch it.
Because no one wants to watch it. No one's actually supporting this. All of the hate that did you see his little breakdown on Twitter like 2 weeks ago about how all of this negative attention he's getting because of his fight? He went from being, Shane the badass that he's been like the past 2 months to like just like super sensitive about, his feelings being hurt, people bullying him on Twitter over this. I understand. I hear you, but this is the point that we're making, is that people are not taking to this fight like he hoped they would, because it has a potential to be a war. Okay, two of the two guys who really hate each other, we get that, but not everybody is on that bandwagon with him, so he's getting a lot of backlash from this. So this is why we feel as if this can't be a workup, because of how forced it feels.
And Shane and Mayorga was making threats towards Shane in the when they fought the first time, and Shane hadn't been reacting like he is now.
No,
exactly.
But he didn't blow smoke in his face. That's the first time.
He didn't slap his girlfriend on the butt. Yeah. And he didn't jump in front of him.
Jen wasn't up there with him before either. Was she?
No, she wasn't.
Jen up there, his girlfriend now, she was all in the middle of this because she's the promoter. Jen was there, his wife was nowhere around that before, so there was no chance for Mayorga to do that.
He was next to him.
But my point is, if somebody slapped, your spouse or something, you ain't gonna take to that. I mean, he tried to choke Mayorga. He tried to choke him.
Yeah, he was. Man. The dad was going in, bro.
I guess I'm just not easily swayed after looking. I don't know.
Mayorga's a pain in the butt, but the thing about it is, irregardless, to me it's highly entertaining, but irregardless, whether they do well or not,
Go ahead.
But it's a good venture, man. I'm digging it. I'm feeling
I
it.
hear you. I hear you.
Marketing work.
Well, I hadn't heard from you, J. Dill. Your thoughts? Unmute your mic, J. Dill. I hadn't heard your opinion on this.
J Dills was like J Dills. Go ahead, J Dills.
I'm here. I gotta say is this fight is as pathetic as grudge match with De Niro's. Two farts going at it. They had a has-been career, and I know when Shane slapped Mayorga's cigarette, Mayorga had back his head, I'm about to smoke this hoe. And as Mayorga supposedly touched Shane's girl's ass, he's like, I'm about to pound this dude's ass. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing, and it's all for show. Shane got a bad back. Mayorga, he got bad lungs, and if Shane goes to the boogie, he'll knock him out.
It's got bad lungs.
I'm telling you right now, if that shit was real, old girl would have smacked the shit out of Mosley or out of Mayorga herself. Just saying.
Do you think she bent her ass over? So what girl you know would bend her ass over and let her do pat? Like, I don't know what girl would do that, man.
One trying to help promote her man's career that he's out of right now.
She would bend her ass over. And
yeah, female takes L's for they dudes all the time for less shit, bruh.
Wow, that's some real fucked up shit right there, man. That's some real.
Oh, I'm just keeping it real. I mean, there's no sugarcoat over that. That's some real shit right there. I don't know what. Oh.
Well, shit, man. That's some real stuff, man. What kind of girl got Shane got there, boy, willing to let a man pat their ass to sell a promotion? Damn. I guess she'll do anything then. That's what you're saying. Damn. That's real shit, bro. That's real stuff.
I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's what's happening. What I'm saying is that the reason why I don't watch press tours because they seem too Hollywood for me. It seems too staged. It's basically like the whole the WWE thing. That's what it feels like to me. The press conference does. Now, as far as being in the ring, them trying to beat each other's brains out, I feel that emotion is just a press conference, especially this one, man. It just seems forced. Yes, I know his reputation. Blah blah blah. I understand all that. It just seems like a forced characteristic from him right now. It doesn't seem genuine. Is all I was saying.
I'm gonna try to get interview with Shane before this fight, man. Hit him up, boy.
He was just on the Ruckus a couple. What was it last week? Their show last week.
He was
I'm gonna try to get him up, man. Shane, this is a work. Shane, because Shane is credibility.
Yeah, he was on.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He was on Giandra's show. Yeah, last week.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer and shit. That's your credibility out. Like, doing a what? Man, boxing ain't no WWE shit. But we move on. Let's
move on and talk about some fights that's happening and a fight that's being talked about. First of all, during our hiatus last week, our break last week, it was announced that Terence Crawford will fight De'Aaron John in October. This week, as a matter of fact, it was also announced that Nathan Cleverly will be fighting Fonfara, as well as Isaac Chilembo. He's going to fight Eliader Alvarez in an eliminator. I wanted to go to Crawford, De'Aaron John first. I'm going to go to you and what you need. I look at this fight. Look, Crawford is the clear favorite, but when I look at De'Aaron John, who lost to Lamont Peterson early last year, I believe it was, I look at him and his style. I think he's better than the last two opponents that Crawford has fought. Delorme as well as Beltran, and in my eye, from looking at both fighters, Crawford, I think he will win, but I think that De'Aaron John, he's going to give Crawford a pretty good fight here. What you need? This is for you.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. What about De'Aaron John? Oh yeah, I really didn't follow De'Aaron John's career. Sorry, I didn't really follow him. But yeah, he's a Haitian fighter, right? Orthodox or
yeah.
southpaw? Southpaw?
He's
Orthodox. He's an
Orthodox.
Orthodox fighter.
Yeah, he came up from lightweight, or he's still at lightweight.
He's coming up from lightweight.
Okay.
But he's been here for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't follow him, so I can't really say too much. Looks like a good fighter though. Solid. Looks like a solid fighter. I'm looking at the wins he had. He beat Leonardo Tyner, right? That's a decent fighter. That's a decent fighter right there. All right, cool.
I'll go to you, EJ and Sean. Your thoughts on Crawford deciding to fight on Darius John? Am I wrong here in thinking that John can give Crawford a good fight here?
Go ahead, Sean.
I think he's a quality fighter. I mean, he brings some different things than the last few people that Crawford has fought. You know, I mean, he has some skills. I mean, really, he is probably more a lightweight than he is a junior lightweight, because you can
junior welterweight.
Junior welterweight. You can see even after, I mean, losing to the bigger fighter Lamont Peterson, who beat him. I mean, a lot easier than I thought he would. But Peterson had a much longer reach. He's a much bigger guy. He's very physical. And after that, most of the fights that he did were like around 135 and, you know, at that weight, his last 4 fights. But he's a busy, active guy, you know, he's still in his prime. I mean, you know, he's 33, but he stays really active, and he's a guy that has lots of skills. So I think for a guy like Crawford, who's just trying to stay busy, he hasn't been, like, when was his last fight?
Crawford
fought...
He fought in June.
March.
Well, what was that? I thought he fought in June, but I'm sorry, I could be wrong.
I think it was the end of March against
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of somebody else. He fought the end of March against Delorme. I'm thinking of somebody else. My apologies.
He had 1 fight this year, 2015, so this is only going to be his 2nd fight, probably to finish the year, to keep him busy, leading into a real big fight down the road, right? I mean, it's only his, like, what, you know, 2nd fight at this weight, 2nd or 3rd.
That's wrong. Let me chime in on. That's a big misnomer. People think that Crawford was just a guy who started his career at lightweight and fought his career throughout. You look at Crawford's record. He began his career more of a lightweight / junior. Right. Matter of fact, early 2013, he fought at 142 pounds. Then he fought the guy who knocked out Amir Khan. He fought him at junior welterweight. Then he moved really down to lightweight. So that's a misnomer about Crawford. He was really more of a British Prescott. He was more of a junior welterweight when he began his career than he was a lightweight. But proceed.
Well, he's always been around the same weight. You know, he's never really been at 140 except for like 3 or 4 fights through his career. Most of the time he's been in the 130s. So, I mean, he's always sort of brought himself down. But, I mean, he is a bigger guy, but, you know, he's younger and growing into his physique. Obviously, down the road, he's going to probably move to 147. But, I mean, at this point, now that he's champion, I mean, this is a good defense, and he's, like, solidified himself as a 140 fighter. So now, I mean, obviously, you know, the big fights are going to be the things that happen, probably 2016. I mean, they've already been talking about him and a potential Pacquiao fight. We will see which one works out best for Arum, you know, a Pacquiao fight with him or a Pacquiao fight with Khan. You can see with Crawford it would be easier because they're both under Arum, so, I mean, he would get all the money, and financially it makes more sense that way. But, you know, we will see.
He actually had a handful of lightweight fights, actually. He's actually mostly been at super lightweight or junior welterweight most of his career.
Exactly. Exactly.
I didn't notice that.
Yes. EJ, J. Dill, Daniel, your thoughts on Crawford, Derry John?
The 40s, 4 times.
It's a good fight, man. Derry John, who did Derry John lose? I think he lost against Lamont.
He lost to Peterson early 2014.
Yeah, that's right. And that was, you know, one of the Haitian guys. He was supposed to be the next Haitian guy. I give credit for Crawford. The Lomé was not an easy test, and now he's taking against another guy. These are awkward dudes, man. The Lomé was hard. The Lomé was hard. And Hank Lundy, you could argue say Hank Lundy kind of won that fight. And, you know, the Lomé was a top guy, and he bashed him up, and now he's going to get Derry John. These guys are not easy. You know what I mean? Crawford is steady, back clearing out the division and knocking off the #1 contenders to put himself in position that all the champions, i.e. Matisse, Peterson, if he's still there, he should be. I'll have to fight him, and this is like showing greatness, man. For me, these names are like they're not. End of the day, when you look at his career, you say who was Derijon, who was thingy, who Delorme, you're like, boy, we're them. But bro, these are tough dudes, man. Like this, they ain't come to lay down. I give Crawford big credit, stepping up into the next division and fighting some real tough tests. Who gonna get him onto the next level? Because by the time he fights Peterson, whoever's there, you should be ready to give them the business. So I give him big credit. And Derijon, I give him credit, man. Like, can he cause an upset? He's got skills and stuff like that. But every time he stepped up only once to get Peterson, is he ready? We don't know, but we know Crawford's going to be ready. This is going to be a very good fight. Maybe not for the casual fight, but definitely for the purist. And I'm really looking forward to it. And big props to the two of them getting that fight on.
Jay Deal, Daniel.
All right. I don't care if we're casual or purists. Terence Crawford is ready, and he's going to be a delight to watch no matter who he's fighting. Crawford showed me against the Army, showed me against Gamboa and Beltran and them that he's ready. Now, Crawford back in 2013, he wasn't ready yet. I mean, he was kind of a bit hesitant. But against Derijon, all right, I saw Derijon's last fight. He looked pretty sharp, pretty quick, pretty athletic. He got hit a little. I think Crawford's range and him switching up to southpaw is going to mess up John's flow and timing of him. And I think Crawford is going to utilize a little bit what Lamar Peterson did. But the difference is the jab is going to set up the right lead or the left hand, and pretty much Derijon is going to get down at least once in this fight. But Crawford's either going to win by unanimous decision or he might get a late TKO stoppage. I think he's going to get a late TKO stoppage. And Derijon is no slouch, trust me. The way he fights, he's better than third tier and most second tier fighters. Now, is he a first tier fighter? He's that type of fighter that you say could almost make it but didn't make it. Now, the fight that I'm looking forward to is not Crawford versus Pacquiao. It's really Crawford versus Matisse. Matisse keep on taking on everybody at 140. Him and Crawford needs to happen next.
Well, Matisse, he got a tough fight against Postal. I think Postal will beat him.
We shall see, man. We shall see. You know, Matisse, I got him winning that fight. I changed my mind about Postal, but overall, I just think Terence Crawford taking on a good challenge, a good warm-up, and I expect him to showcase even more dominance at 140 because I think him and Matisse are going to clash, and I can't wait for that fight. So, and I got Matisse beating Postal. Knockout, 4th round.
Go to you, Daniel, then you, Kazel.
Oh man, it's a decent fight for Crawford. Derijon, like I said, is not a cupcake. He does have good athleticism, but it is something of a fight that to keep him busy. They did want him to fight 3 times this year. This is only his 2nd fight, and they're gonna try to build up, like Sean said, they're gonna try to build up the big fights in 2016. Maybe Pacquiao going down to 140, which is attainable, or as mentioned, him and Matisse. I'll gladly put out my wallet to put in that fight because between Matisse's style and Crawford's ability to switch stances at ease makes for a great fight. But this is an interesting fight, and I like the fact that it's once again in Omaha. Help build up Crawford's space a bit more, which is something that Arum hasn't done well over the years with other people, whether they're fighters. So it's actually going to be a good fight. Crawford's going to win most likely. It's probably going to be, he might knock him out, but it's a pretty decent fight for Crawford. And like I said, it keeps him busy for the year.
I gotta say some things on what I just saw, Derijon. The brother is slick, man. He's got some slick skills.
I'm saying.
I'm watching how he moves off the back foot. You see that back foot movement? I love it, man.
Crawford should win, but John is no joke. I'm just saying.
That's what I said. He's no cupcake. That's the truth. He's no
I'm
cupcake.
watching
It's
him
not like
against
a
Peterson
perfect
right
fight.
now. Against Peterson, he's walking Peterson down right now. Very interesting way he mixes it up and stuff. It's kick a box, man.
I'm gonna go to you, K-Hizzle, and
One more thing I just want to say.
Quickly.
His reach is longer than Crawford's as well. He got a 72-inch reach. Crawford got 70. Not that it matters because you really look at arm length as well, but just interesting stuff, you know.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go to you, K-Hizzle, but I know y'all talking Crawford and Matisse. The fight I want to see is Crawford Imam. If that could ever be made.
Down the road.
But go ahead, Isha.
I don't really have much to say about this one. Everybody knows that I'm a Crawford fan. I think this is another fight to showcase his skills because for some reason everyone has a lot of doubt about him. I don't know why. He's a fantastic boxer. He adjusts well in the ring. But moving on, do I think it's going to be a tougher fight for him? Of course, styles makes fights. I agree with you that Deary appears to be a better fighter than his last two opponents, and that's the whole reason for this fight, to showcase him stepping up into what he's trying to show us, that he is a good fighter. He is the deal. He is ready for the big stage. You know what I'm saying? So outside of that, I think it's going to be a fantastic fight, back and forth. But at the end of the day, I do think Crawford's going to pull out with a decision, or like I think it was Daniel said, a late KO in the later rounds.
I'm going to you, EJ, with this next fight.
Wait, before you move on, two other things I want to say. Derry John changes head slots like nobody's business, man. I don't think nobody knocking him out. I'm telling you guys now.
I say TKO, not a knockout.
Just no knockout, no TKO, man. This guy's slick, man.
Yep. But this weight is great. Like, to go back to what you were just saying, about Amir Iman. He's the mandatory for Matisse and Postol. So he could be a champion really quickly down the road, like early 2016. And then you still have Rances Bartholomew at that weight, who just went up, and a potential Mikey Garcia once he starts getting back into boxing. So, I mean, with those guys, wow.
He might give Crawford all he can handle.
Yes, he would.
No, man, this man's like Floyd almost. I'm like watching this fight. I'm wondering how Lamont Peterson beat this dude. Probably activity.
Yeah.
Because he's mixing up the high guard with all kinds of looks he's giving Peterson. This is crazy.
Peterson outworked him that fight. He outworked him.
What you need's on it, boy. What you need to make it?
Look, I was saying, Crawford.
What you need? You ain't got him beating him though. We agree he got skills. We agree that, but you ain't got him beating.
Oh my goodness! He just fought him with an overhand right.
Crawford is going to beat him by decision, I feel, but I just think that Jerry John is going to give him a good tussle.
Yeah.
He reminded me a little bit of Ishe Smith. Oh my gosh, he caught him with a straight overhand right. Oh my god.
Watching the fight as we speak, bro.
Yes,
you guys
he
watch,
is.
Ishe Smith versus Jacob. He fought that guy with a left hook all day night. Anyway, sorry.
Let's move on to this other fight. Cleverly and Fonfara. And I'll go to you on this one, EJ. What's the vibe over there from Cleverly? I just can't get the vibe from him on Cleverly in terms of how he would do against a Fonfara. I mean, look, he lost to Kovalev in 2013. He moved up to the cruiserweight. Looked bad against Bello. Really, really bad. Recently moved back down to 100, back down to light heavyweight. Knocked out a guy in one round, I think, in May, late May. Correct me if I'm wrong. And now he's getting a fight against a Fonfara who just gave Chavez Jr. the fade. Destroyed him in 10 rounds. Your thoughts about Cleverly in the fight with Fonfara coming up?
Man, I'm gonna give you some inside information, like first hand. Like, he was the gym I train at, and not like I fight, but I go and get my interviews. Don Charles's gym, and he was training out of there before he had his fight on the undercard of Joshua and Johnson, and he went against a guy who in my explanation, and I went to Don. I told him straight. I thought that guy threw the fight. The guy who fought came with the hat. He wasn't serious. Nathan clearly hit him with a shot. It didn't look like it hurt, and the guy just fell down. And looked to me, it was a fix, right? Furthermore, inside information, his dad no longer trains him no more because his dad is on charges of his dad's on charges of molestation of a young girl. And,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying to you, inside information. And he's got his fitness trainer, Darryl Wilson, training him right now. And because he's training him, he's a fitness trainer, not necessarily a boxing trainer, which is good. But you need a strategy trainer like a Adam Booth, and you need a guy who's been there. And for me, Fonfara, in where he's fighting, the level he's been fighting, it's perfect for him. I don't see Nathan Cleverly doing anything for Fonfara. I don't think Nathan Cleverly's got his confidence. He's still upset about his dad and the situation. I'm not going to put out there his dad's in jail. His dad's not in jail. There's allegations out there, so I'm just going to put it out there. The allegations about molestation and kids. I'm not sure if it's true, but he's stressed about that. And his dad was his #1 prime trainer. So in his camp, he's got a lot of things going on, and you can see in his face compared to when his dad was there, he was a much happier, happy guy. So I think that might be, but Fonfara is good. Fonfara is good. I think Fonfara is going to beat him and beat him quite convincingly, in my opinion. So it should be a good fight as long as it lasts. But if Nathan Cleverly's head's not in the right place, it should be an easy fight. And Nathan Cleverly's only been stopped once, but boy, man, I don't know, man. Fonfara hits hard, bruh. We see with Chavez. So I think Fonfara probably got the beat. I don't know when Nathan Cleverly's going to be training. If he's been training at Don Charles' gym, then maybe I can interview him and try to talk to him about that. But the inside information on that is like Nathan Cleverly's house is not in order, and coming into this fight, it doesn't look good for me, in my opinion. And also in the Bellew fight, and this is just my opinion, not fact, and I still haven't got any word in it because I talked to the trainer that he's fighting one arm in that fight against Bellew, and the reason why they didn't cancel it because the pay-per-view people paid their money over here, what we call box office. They already paid their money, and they had that fight. And it was to me, it was like, you should have cancelled it because I picked Nathan to win that fight. He was basically fighting that fight with one arm. So again, he's got a lot of demons and issues going on. So I don't really like Nathan's chances of getting pinned. But I give him props for trying to fight the best. But you need to get your house in order. And, a strength and conditioner can only do so much. And Nathan's always in condition. But you need a tactician and a strategy, which Darren Wilson is maybe not as good at that. So we'll see what Nathan does. Inside information. There you go.
I'm asking everybody to unmute their mic. I'm just going to open it up for everybody. Your thoughts on this? I just think, just going off of what EJ is saying, Fonfara, he gave Stevenson a tough go. He beat Chavez, beat him up. I just think his confidence level is at a really good point right now. And cleverly, to what EJ was saying, seemed like he may be having some issues, fighting some demons, if you will, outside the ring. His organization, if you will, is really not solid. And this is for everybody. Unmute their mic. Your thoughts on Fonfara and Cleverly?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight. You have these two guys. They're both around 28 years old. They're both in their prime. Obviously, Fonfara, he's on the upswing. He's looked really good, even in losing to Stevenson. He really made a name for himself in that fight. And since then, he's just picked it up to another level, kicking that shit out of our favorite fighter, Chavez. And for him, this is a stepping stone for another title shot. So, he's really excited, I'm sure, and confident and eager for it. He's also the bigger guy, a longer reach, coming in really confident, and I'm sure his team is really clicking. I think the problem, like EJ was saying about Cleverly, he's a skilled fighter and he has potential, and he was a champion. But after getting steamrolled by Kovalev, he moved up to heavier weights. That didn't work out. Now he's moving down. So who knows where his head is as far as his fight career is concerned. So you'd have to sort of favor Fonfara just as far as being the guy that's more ready mentally at this point.
And even from a physical standpoint, what does Cleverly have in his arsenal to keep Fonfara off of him?
He can move, which isn't like Chavez.
But I'm just saying, Fonfara is better at cutting off the ring, and he got the reach to get to Cleverly.
Sure, yeah. He's got 4 pieces on him.
Right. Daniel, J. Dill, Isha, what you need? Your thoughts?
It's a pretty good fight for Fonfara. Because to keep that roll going, like I said, people mentioned it, like he almost pulled off the upset against Stevenson. He gave his comeuppance to Chavez Jr., a comeuppance that he deserves, and it's a good fight. And honestly, it's an easy now build up to a rematch with Stevenson, because now you can say, okay, Fonfara, okay, he defeated the son of the great Mexican legend. Now he fought a great British fighter, and cleverly. Is he now ready for Dynasty? It's a good build-up and it's a decent fight. Given what we just heard right now involving Cleverly's camp, and probably not easy from far win, because he seems more mentally ready now for this stage. But we just have to wait to see. It is boxing. One punch can do anything. Like Fonfara almost proved that against Stevenson, so it's a pretty good fight to watch.
J. Dill, Isha, what you need? Your thoughts?
All right. This fight, both fighters are very high active offensive fighters, but on far size and his distance is going to frustrate Cleverly. To me, Cleverly's best wins are against Kalu at 175 in their first bout, and Karpinski, who beat Chad Dawson. And I think he was the first guy to beat Karpinski. To me, Cleverly has lost it since he got his ass whooped against Kovalev. Psychologically, he hasn't really been the same.
Hey, J. Dill, your mic's doomed, bro. You need to sort that out real quick.
Yeah, you're having some mic issues, J. Dill. So try to speak louder and speak clearly if you can.
Can you hear me?
That's a little better. That's a little better. Let me see if I can up your mic. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, all I'm just saying is Nathan Cleverly has the tools to win the fight, but I don't know if he has mentally a guy who has like a Fonfara, who has actually took on tougher fights at 165 right now than Cleverly ever has. I mean, Cleverly's best wins are against Bellew the first time and Karpinski, who beat Chad Dawson, but at Chad Dawson's house. But that's a wash-up Chad Dawson anyways. Anyway, all in all, this should be a high-paced action fight. Cleverly out with a right hand. I just think his size is just too much for Cleverly. But we shall see. But all I'm hoping for is a good fight. Both guys both come back.
Michael, you're a kind dude, bro.
I'm trying to fix. I'm up in his mic. Go ahead. What you need, Isha? Unmute your mic. What you need? Unmute your mic.
I don't know much about Cleverly. I've only seen one of his fights, and I think it was against Bello or something like that. I'm sorry. Like I said before, I'm not really too familiar with the UK fighters by name, but I've only seen him fight once, and as far as this fight with him and Fonfara, I don't really have anything to really add to it, except that I think it may be a better fight than what people are playing it up to be, and that I do believe that Fonfara is going to win it, and I am personally ready to see the rematch between him and Stevenson, because the fight between him and Stevenson, I don't know if anybody remembers, but he sparked Stevenson in that fight, and I think with him, if he watched his videos or whatever, did his homework, that in a rematch, I think he can be more technically sound than what he was in the first match against him, and make it more competitive than what it was, and give himself a better shot to win it. So I'm all in for that fight. And like I said, against the Cleverly fight, like I said, I don't really know much about Cleverly, other than what you guys are really saying now, and the one fight that I've seen of him. But hey, I hope he shows up and give us a great fight.
Rumors broke yesterday about possible fight between former featherweight champion Nicholas Walters, and former featherweight and junior lightweight champion Yuriorkis Gamboa for later on this year. And again, I'm just going to open it up for everybody. Unmute your mic, please. On paper, I like it. It's a good fight. A right fight, right time for Walters, in my opinion. Bless you, whoever sneezed. But when I look at the fight, I just think that Gamboa, lack of discipline in terms of his technique. He gets hit too much, and he's a bit chinny. And Walters, who was really a junior lightweight fighting down at 126 pounds, he could just make the weight. I just think that his discipline, his skill, ever-improving skill, would be just too much at the end of the day for the likes of Gamboa, who's undisciplined defensively. And should this fight happen, again, everybody unmute your mic. Your thoughts on about should it happen?
Like you said, it looks good on paper, but stating the obvious, Gamboa is not very defensive disciplined. We all know that. Chinny is not a word for him now at this stage of his life in boxing because, yeah, we all saw the Crawford fight. But as far as that, I think what will happen there will be complete. I mean, I don't want to say that he's just going to get ran through because I love Gamboa. I am a Gamboa fan. But looking at his last fights, he just does not look like the Gamboa that he was. And I think that Walters possibly hits a lot harder than Crawford does. So with that being said, I don't think it's going to be a fun day in the park for him in that ring if that fight does comes to fruition. I don't think it's going to be a beautiful sight for him. I think it's going to be a very, very, very hard match. He's going to probably be making some fucking snow canvas angels in the ring again. And I just think it's just a name in Walter's belt for leverage is how I see it.
I'll go to you on this one. What you need just from a technical standpoint, the ever improving Walters with the jab, with the discipline, the way he paces himself, he varies the shots very well to the head and body. Should a potential fight with Gamboa happen, do you think just from a technical standpoint, a skill standpoint, he's just too much for a Gamboa who's wild explosive? Again, defensive lapses, and he can't be hit and hurt. That's what you need if you're around.
Right. Let me see. What I know is Gamboa's very explosive in the first 3 rounds, but then after that he kind of ebbs, and that's where you can get at him. The other thing about it is, the only thing I have a problem with Nicholas Walters is he still has to pivot more. He constantly fights in one. How do I say, straightforward. He comes forward straight. He doesn't come in at angles, right? So that's the one thing I like to see him do when he's fighting. He has a nice stance and everything. Good, decent jab. But he still attacks in a straight line, and he fights his opponent without pivoting sufficiently to change up the angle. Like, if he hits you, he goes straight back. He doesn't go at an angle to where he hits you. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Gamboa is a very good fighter in that regard. He can come in at different angles, but he won't have a reach advantage. He won't have a height advantage. That big, wide stance of Nicholas Walters is going to give him problems. He's probably going to do well in the early parts of the fight, but what we need to know is, will he do well in the latter stages of the fight? Because he hasn't fought since last year, I think it is, 2014.
I think so.
Right? So, again, he's coming off a kind of dry spell. So this is an interesting fight for him to jump back into the fray with, but yeah, you think he came off a win after the Terence Crawford fight, and so he's good at 130 though. He's good at 130. That's not a bad weight for him. So I don't know what kind of punching power Nicholas Walters will carry up in the 130. He's been 126. I think Nicholas Walters walks around about like 145, something like that. So he'll be like 145. Gamboa will be like 136, 137. So it's not a big difference. Like Crawford was like 150, 152 when he fought Gamboa.
Yes.
But this is a little different. So I don't know what kind of punching power Nicholas Walters will have, because he didn't knock out the Mariaga. He didn't knock out Mariaga. Mariaga
That
took
is a
him.
very valid point. I forgot about the weight difference.
Mariaga's never been knocked out though.
Yep.
He a tough dude. That's true. I mean, Gamboa has been knocked down a couple of times. So
He's never been knocked out. So that's you can't take that away from him. That Mariaga's a tough dude, man.
But I'm just saying that Gamboa, I mean, he was knocked down multiple times by many different people, but he always got it back up. Even when he was knocked down by Terence Crawford, he got back up. But my point is, my thing is, technically speaking, I expect Gamboa, because of his amateur training and everything, to be like bedazzling Nicholas Walters for like the first 3. But then after that, I think when the pace slows down a little bit, and Walters gets to kind of time Gamboa. But Walters, unlike Terence Crawford pivots, right? Terence Crawford comes in at angles, okay? And he can fight with either hand. He could go southpaw on you, change up the look so he can catch you with a hook with the right hand. You know, he could feint as if he's going left and then catch you with the right again. So he could change up his look. Nicholas Walters kind of is basic in that regard. He comes straight forward, off the jab, to counter you, and he catches you with that uppercut, that right uppercut. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
And he's also very open for shots too. I don't remember that last fight that he was fighting. I can't think of the kid's name that he was fighting. But yeah, he was catching him with a lot of good, decent shots too. Yeah. And I think it was spoke about that.
If I remember correctly.
Right. I think it was spoke on that if he wasn't 2 weight sizes ahead of him or 2 weight classes ahead of him, would it have made a difference?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that might play a big part in it too. So you are right. Those are very, very valid points that I didn't consider those things. I just considered off of his last performance how he got dismantled by Crawford. I didn't remember how much of a big weight difference it was too with Gamboa versus Crawford, because even in the ring I stated that he did not belong at that weight. He did not belong in the ring with him. The size was just way too much. So yes, you are right. Thank you.
Daniel, EJ, J. Dill, Sean, your thoughts on this bout? Should it happen?
Man, that's a good fight. Go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead.
I said it should, in the sense of the fact that Gamboa needs to do some type of resurgence coming into it, because I'm a Gamboa fan. I like how he just doesn't stop fighting, but this could turn out to be just a redux of the Crawford fight, where he comes in, he boxes really well in the next few minutes, but eventually Walters will time him, Walters will figure out things to do, and he'll hit him with an uppercut. And like I said, we mentioned it. We all saw the Crawford fight. Granted, Gamboa didn't give up, but it's a situation where it's either the weight or just the fact that Lord rushes in sometimes after certain rounds. But it might be a redux, but it would be a fun fight to see. And quite frankly, after the fight that Walters had last time, I want to see a good fight from them.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, from what I'm thinking, Gamboa stands a better chance in this fight than he does against Waters. Waters, who's coming up now in weight. Gamboa's been around this weight anyway, so the kind of meeting, I don't know what weight class to do, because Waters already been stripped of his belt. So, and Waters has already been stripped of his belt right now. So, in my opinion, I think this should be a good fight. I think it's a case of what has Gamboa got left? Does he really take the sport seriously? But give him credit taking someone like Nicholas Waters, man. And if it does happen, I think Gamboa's got a good chance. I feel like Gamboa can actually hurt Waters. Waters got hurt by Donaire and he got hurt by Mayorga. And in my opinion, I think he can hurt Waters, man. I think he's got a chance. He can outbox him. Waters like what you need said. He comes forward in straight lines and he comes to slug, man. He can box, but he's an all-action fighter, man. He wants to perform and show the crowd. But Gamboa is that Cuban style. He wants to box, look flashy. But the whole thing is, can he keep it up, man? Can he keep up? And the weight disparity disparity will obviously play a factor later on in the fight. So, but it should be a good fight as it lasted. But I ain't be surprised if Gamboa knocks out Waters, man. Waters got buzzed by Donaire. It was good, but since Donaire couldn't capitalize and he got buzzed by thing, and Gamboa goes down. So you might see both of them dropping down. Because you know, Thingy can crack, man. Gamboa can crack, boy. So, but at this moment, we're probably thinking, because his performance against Crawford, that he's going to probably be the underdog, and it's going to be lunch for Crawford. But we should see styles that we fight. So I wouldn't be surprised if Gamboa the upset. But right now, I'm gonna go with the Jamaican. I'm gonna go with my Jamaican brother. Big up the Axeman. So I'm rolling with the Axeman right now.
Sean, J. Dill, I think I've fixed J. Dill's mic's issue, at least from my end. But you can proceed, either one.
Hey, I sort of agree with what BJ was just saying. You know, I mean, we know Gamboa has fought the highest level of competition. And he's only lost once to a far bigger fighter who weighed over 150 and a very versatile, skilled fighter who most people think is going to take over the sport in the next couple of years in Crawford. Walters is a good fighter, but I mean, he hasn't fought that level of competition. Now he's moving up, so he's not going to have the big weight advantage over Gamboa. I mean, he still has to reach, which is fine when the fight's outside. But he's never fought a guy who's so dynamic, so fast, of hands and feet, who's going to get inside and use angles. With Walter's wide stance, he can't move. You know, he's going to be stuck there. And what's he going to do once Gamboa gets inside his jab? He's not going to land that uppercut because Gamboa is much shorter. So it's going to be much harder to hit him with that than it was hitting a guy like Donaire, who's just as tall as him, if not a little bit taller. So I could see Gamboa totally overwhelming him with big punches on the inside and taking Walters out. I mean, I think this is a really dangerous fight for Walters. I mean, for Gamboa, I mean, he's always been chinny. So, I mean, you know, any fight with a big puncher is always sort of dangerous for him. But, like, you know, what you need said before, I mean, he's been down a lot, but he's always gotten up, except most recently to Crawford. But Crawford and Walters, I mean, if you compare those two guys as far as styles, I mean, size-wise, they're similar. But the Crawford is far more dynamic. He can switch either hands very fluidly. I mean, he's able to adjust. And we saw Gamboa kicking his ass early on in that fight until he made an adjustment.
Yeah, he was
over.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see how Walters is going to adjust. Not to say he can't adjust, because he's never been in the situation. So I'm not underestimating him at any cost. I mean, we will see what he can do and if he can adjust and what kind of inside game he has, because I think that's going to be just as important as using his jab and his long-range punches against Gamboa. So it's a great fight. I'm excited.
J. Dill, I think I got your mic issues fixed. Comment, please. Unmute your mic, J. Dill. You got your mic muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. This fight is kind of tricky because one side has hand speed advantage. This is the quickest fighter that Walters will ever fight. But the other guy got a size advantage, and he got some tools that could hurt Gamboa. Now, here's the thing. Gamboa is vulnerable to body shots. What's Nicholas Walters known to do? Go to the body. But can he go to the body and deal with that hand speed that's coming his way? Now, here's another thing. I might favor Walters for one particular reason. No matter how good we just revere Yuriorkis Gamboa, there's one fact remain about him. He does not have a fighter's identity. He just don't have a boxing identity when he goes into fights. He just fights in stretches, but he don't keep up. And you be like, okay, what's his niche? What does he like to do? He's just pure athleticism to me. So, and he keeps his chin up too much. So, all I'm trying to say is, if Walters could utilize his jab a little bit, get to the body, that'll slow down Gamboa's speed. And eventually he can oppose his size later on, just like Crawford did, eventually go to the body to hurt him, and then to really just start laying knockdowns on him. But easier said than done, because I never seen Walters fight somebody as athletic as Gamboa. So, me personally, I wouldn't be shocked if Gamboa outclasses Walters, but something tells me if Walters is able to go to that body, eventually he's going to wear Gamboa down through nutrition and pretty much boxing ability. So I'm going to take a risk, and I'm just going to say Nicholas Walters will win by split or majority decision.
Keep your mic open, J. Dill, because I'm going right back to you. We saw a bit of an exclusive late yesterday afternoon, early evening last night, and that was like an all access to Floyd Mayweather training camp, and we saw something that we rarely, if ever, see, and that was actually just Floyd Mayweather sparring. He sparred, what was it, over 20 minutes straight, maybe 25 minutes straight against a guy, undefeated young guy from Gary, Indiana. More than just the sparring session itself, the fact that we got to see Floyd sparring, something he doesn't do. Your thoughts on that? A lot of people are suspect about it, that saying that it's kind of a stunt to get more folks to look at the fight for viewers and whatnot, since a lot of folks don't like the fight, what have you. But I'm still interested anyway, the fact that we got to see Floyd spar. Your thoughts on it?
To be quite honest with you, I really don't particularly care for Floyd in this fight, but I'm just going to say it like this. If this is his marketing ploy, he's going to have to do more than just this, just that. But for what I saw with the footage, the guys seem like they're not on Floyd's level on conditioning, and Floyd had more stamina than they had. And I just think Floyd don't respect Berto that much for him to show some sparring sessions for that long, to show fighting strategies and stuff. I mean, he wouldn't do that for the Pacquiao. He wouldn't really do that for the Madonna stuff. But considering Berto and the biggest underdog in boxing history for pay-per-view fights, I'm just going to say that what Floyd is doing, he's going to have to start talking about Ronda Rousey or something to get people to want to watch this pay-per-view.
Enough of that Ronda Rousey. That stuff is getting on my nerve, the back and forth talk between the two of them.
But use her name to market this fight, because how else could he market this fight? It's just that hard, man. Like, it's sad.
Yeah, you're right about that. It is ultimately sad. I'm open up to everybody else. Unmute your mic. Everybody, please. Your thoughts on the sparring session that we saw with Floyd last night?
Floyd's a beast, man. Floyd's a beast. He's a flipping beast. That dude, yeah, got stronger and stronger as the sparring went on. He gave a little inkling about what he's about, man. Like, I know maybe the sparring partners weren't no beast or nothing like that, yeah. But to switch in, it was 27 minutes, right? The first dude, right, I know he had 10 losses. That dude was trying to kill him, bro. And what Floyd was doing, moving around the ring, let the guy, so to speak, lose all the bullets out of his gun. Let the guy shoot his load, and then Floyd beat the crap out of him. It was beautiful. Remember, again, there's no rounds kind of thing, so the round, only when Floyd says you're allowed to stop, then you stop. So Floyd can just mess around and do whatever, but the sparring partner, you could have made your name, and he was trying to do that. He was trying to take Floyd's head off. Pressure fighters, look how that guy was amazing. He shows how he did with pressure fighters. He brought another guy in with a long arm, used his jab, shows how he can counter over the jab, and this went on for ages, and I was like, man, shows you what it's like to be a professional. Ali used to do it back in the days. Again, like JD also, it's kind of disrespectful to Berto, Trem, why he wouldn't do it for any other opponent. And Floyd's trying to say this is his last fight. But this is the thing. The sparring partner, we didn't know he was going to spar. We thought it was going to be a normal session, come in, going to skip the rope, hit the bag, pad work with Roger. Nah. I know Roger's got some, you can see on Fighthead, Floyd was saying Roger's got some issues. His main's not all there. So to me, I definitely believe this is Floyd's last fight. And the sparring session to me shows that this kid, bro, anyone want to doubt this guy, the hard work and what he puts in, the two guys switching in, man, this guy's got some greatness going on, bro. I just thought it was great to see that little bit of him. The sparring partners weren't necessarily the best, but you can see what he's about and what kind of dedication he has, man. The unlimited rounds, come on, man. And 2 different sparring partners. I heard he's been beating up the sparring partner. Ishe was saying he was been bashing up the sparring partners. I think they have like a whole list of sparring partners they have. They just showed them 2 that day. Man, it was incredible to see. And I to be honest with you, man, I watched it like 3-4 times, and I was like, man, loud fighting. You think fighting Floyd is easy? Basically, Floyd will give you like maybe your best fight to beat Floyd is in the first couple of rounds. After that, you ain't got no chance. And Berto, the pressure fighter, what he was using, that would be Berto. Berto probably thinking, well, if I hit Floyd that hard, I'm gonna take him out. Yeah, you might think you could hurt him, but now you threw your best punches. We still have like what 8 rounds, 9 rounds, 10 rounds left, and this is when Floyd can open up on you. So I thought it was good. It was great. I don't care what anyone says, man. Floyd's the G, and I think he's gonna retire. So that's my take on the whole shit, man.
Isha, what you need. Sean, I think Daniel, he left. He left. I don't know if he'll be back. If he's not, thanks for joining us on the show. But
he's not going to be back. He said he had to move.
Oh, okay. So, Isha, what you need. Sean, your thoughts on the sparring session yesterday that we saw on All-Access?
Well, okay, let tell you.
I was just gonna say I got nothing. I told you I don't watch those things. And then it's Floyd, so there you go. I'll leave that up to what you need.
Yeah. I like the dude Don Moore, man. Don Moore is the second guy, the black dude. Little long. He's a super lightweight, and that boy got some skills. He was touching Floyd a little bit. He was touching him a little bit. That boy got some skills, and I was watching how he tried to use the jab. He tried to use the jab against Floyd, but the problem with Floyd is a jab. You got to know what jab to use against him to start with. There are many, but Don Moore, look out for him. I think he'll become a world champion pretty soon. Now he's 35 years old, so he's got some age on him, but I think he's 17-0-1.
Yes.
So that boy got some skills, man. That boy got some skills. The other gentleman, the Mexican fighter, that boy, he's sharpening it up. I don't think Floyd was going all out on those guys, because usually when Floyd goes all out, there's blood and stuff. Guys it gets brutal in there. You know what I mean? But those 2 guys show some promise, man. They show some promise. I mean, the other guy, I think he's something in 10. He lost 10, but I don't know. Sometimes people have losses on their record, and like Ishe Smith, he got a couple losses that I think shouldn't be losses, but they were so close and stuff. So but I looked at those 2 guys. I really was impressed by, especially Don Moore. I've seen him slug out and spar with this other guy, and I think Floyd and they had to go to the commission because these guys weren't wearing headgear and stuff. But I really was impressed with Floyd watching the sparring session. I do believe, like EJ, that you guys can hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, apparently Floyd, this is Floyd's last fight. Why I think so is you ain't gonna be showing no sparring unless you think this is it. You know what I mean? So I think he respects Berto. I ain't hearing nothing from Berto, so hopefully we will find out something about Berto, because I know Berto's working on something.
Actually, let me. There's going to be something Friday, I think, either Friday or sometime next week.
They're gonna cover something Friday.
Yeah, All-Access from Berto's camp in L.A.
Because I haven't heard a thing about Berto, and I know Virgil Hunter. You can see Berto has a sparring partner that's a secret weapon. That's Andre Ward. See what I'm saying? And Andre Ward is a skilled fighter. You know what I mean? So if Berto is, they're working on some things with Andre. Hopefully they are. They're gonna get Berto as ready as possible. In terms of especially making use of the jab that Virgil was working with him on, which was very effective against Josecito Lopez, I must say. So I think that's what they're working with Berto. But Floyd is showing that he can handle. The thing about Floyd, right? I don't want to go too long on this guy, but the thing about Floyd is this, right? Floyd's a guy that kind of knows what you're going to do next. Kind of like he anticipates what you're going to do. Not anticipates, but actually predicts what you're going to do next. And so with that kind of fighter, it's very hard to do anything, and he doesn't know what you're going to do. You understand what I'm saying? So in that, just looking at when he was sparring those guys, you could see that, I mean, he wasn't fighting on his toes or anything. He was very flat-footed, but even being flat-footed, he could anticipate everything that these guys were about to throw. Like he knew what they were about to throw. As they say, he kind of had this radar. And that's something I really haven't seen. I've looked at a lot of fighters, but I know some fighters have the skill of countering. Like they would counter you, anticipating certain things. But you know, it's just something that I think is very special. And we're gonna all of us are talking here. I know everybody here gonna watch that fight. I also know that everybody here is gonna miss him when he's out of the sport, you know, because he dominates so much conversation, whether you like him or not. So there will be a little void. But yeah, I was impressed with Don Moore. Obviously, I'm impressed with Floyd Mayweather. I think he's the best thing I've ever seen. I've watched at a lot of fights. I told you guys that before. And I'm highly impressed with him as a boxer. I've not seen any boxer that has that kind of timing. He has his key weapon is timing, placement, and distance control. This guy, those three factors make him what he is. And it's not so much you know he's going to throw a certain punch. You just don't know when, and you don't know how, and you don't know at what distance. That's the problem with Floyd. Finding him in space and trying to also anticipate his movements in space because these guys, they are pretty decent, especially the second guy, Don Moore. He has pretty good defensive skills. He's slick, but he still get tagged, man. Still getting tagged up. You know?
Your thoughts on what you saw yesterday, Sean, with the sparring session with Mayweather? Unmute your mic, Sean. You got your mic. You got your mic muted. Go ahead.
You know, I agree with Tisha. I think this is just a marketing ploy. You know, he's been getting a lot of negative feedback about this opponent, and I think he just needed to do something to try to get public opinion interested in this fight. Showing a style of fighting that he probably won't use in the ring, which is much more standing in there and throwing and you know, being more aggressive, which, I mean, we've heard, and you know, it's nothing new. We know he's going to revert to do what he does, which is effective and easily win a decision against Berto. So mostly the interesting thing to see in this fight is what Berto can do. Can Berto bring anything to the table? Can he surprise people? Can he use his hand speed? Can he, you know, what you need was talking about how his jab is improving, but I mean, he does give up reach, so we will see if he can be effective with that jab, you know, trying to connect with Floyd, who has a longer reach and is good at being able to avoid fighters' jabs and utilize his own and get his own shots off. So mostly, you know, I mean, you know, it's nice to see him sparring. You know, this is something that I don't think he showed anything that he's going to show in the fight. That's why he's confident showing the sparring, because it has nothing to do with what he's doing in the ring. Mostly it's just to stay busy, working his timing, and make sure that, you know, as far as going rounds, he's willing and able to do, which we know based on his history. I mean, he has no problem going 12 rounds. So it's nothing new. I mean, it's nice that it's something new for the fans and gives people something to watch and gives more of an inside look, which a lot of the other stuff we've seen about Floyd is just a lot of blah, blah, blah. So it's nice to actually see him in the ring doing something. You know, there's always a lot of speculation about how sparring is going and how he's knocking guys out, but we don't know who they are and we don't get to see it. So as far as that perspective, it's nice to get to see him actually do something. But, you know, I think it's just a ploy to, like, try to sell the fight and try to get, like, people behind it and try to get the pay-per-view numbers up.
Any additional words before we start previewing what's happening this weekend and shut the show down? From anybody?
Just so you guys are all aware that I'm actually one of the people who are I'm really looking forward to the Mayweather-Berto fight. Just because I don't like to talk about him, because I honestly believe that the Mayweather talk is oversaturated. So I choose not to talk about it. But I am really excited and looking forward to this fight.
Yeah, so let's move on and talk about the fights happening this weekend. Only one main fight of note that got the fans' attention. I'll go to you back to you on this one. Isha, unmute your mic, please. Fight's going to be a PBC on ESPN card. Leo Santa Cruz, former bantamweight junior featherweight champion, moving up to 126 to fight Abner Mares, who's also a former bantamweight junior featherweight as well as featherweight champion. 12-round fight, PBC card on ESPN. Like I said before, the fight's going to happen in LA. Look, do I think either of these guys are elite top-level fighters at junior featherweight or even featherweight division? No. But put these two together, I think it's going to be a heck of a bout. Styles make fights, as they say, and I think the styles of both of these guys who like to come forward, who like to throw a lot of punches. Santa Cruz more than Mars. It's going to make for a very exciting fight. I know you're looking forward to it, Isha. Your thoughts on it?
It's just one of those fights where, like you said, a lot of people are like, oh, whatever, it's these two guys. On the other hand, I have been waiting for these two to fight each other. Why? Because for some reason, I think Leo is gonna do what people don't expect him to do. I think he's gonna take this, and I'm really stoked to see this in the ring, because these two guys, they both like to hit things. They like to hit people. And I don't think it's going to be where, there's going to be a lot of moving around in the ring, because, Leo has one direction, and that's just coming forward and throwing as many punches as he can, and they're effective punches too. Whereas Mares, he throws a lot of hard punches. And I don't recall ever seeing him really gas out in a fight, which is another thing that is going to be crazy about this, because I've never seen Leo gas out in a fight. So you have two people that's really, two young guys with good conditioning who likes to fight, and I think it's going to be a really good PBC show. On top of that, I think my boy El Perro is on the card too. Say what you want about my dude, I love me some El Perro.
And Gulo, who shouldn't really be fighting.
He shouldn't, but hey, neither should Antonio Tarver, neither should Bernard Hopkins, but hey, they still doing it.
I'm gonna go to you, J. Dill. Your thoughts on this fight, Mars versus Santa Cruz? Unmute your mic, please, brother.
I don't have no particular favor for this because, I just want to see a good fight. Number one. Number two, this would tell me what levels Santa Cruz is on. This is a coming party type fight. Mares, this will tell me where he's at since the John Gonzalez knockout a year and a half ago. And I just want to see these guys go at it. Matter of fact, their press conferences and trash talking is better than Canelo and Cotto. So
yes,
I'm enjoying that, but enough with the drama-driven stuff. I've been begging for Santa Cruz to take on a real fight, and this is a real fight, but I think he's chewing too much than he could bark, because he's fighting a guy that fought better opponents than he is as an opponent, and he's fighting a guy who's still young, but is well-seasoned and been through some wars, but he's another level. And this is a real fighter that he's fighting that got some real power. Now, I seen Mars beat the Marinos and Darchinians and others, and the DeLeons and those type of guys. But I haven't seen Santa Cruz beat somebody that's a good level of a fighter. So this will be his first test, and I hope he's as good as I've been seeing him against the lower level. And this fight will tell me a lot. So I'm not picking nobody just because I'm neutral about this. But if I had to have a gun in my head, I'll say Mares because of experience. But I wouldn't be shocked if Santa Cruz pull out the upset. But I just got to speak for myself, and that's my position. And that's all I got to say.
Your
J.
thoughts,
Dill,
Sean?
keep in mind that he did name his son Al.
True.
That's why I'm giving him the push, for that reason alone.
Your thoughts, Sean?
Hey, finally a PBC card that's good. It's going to be a good fight. I mean, both of these guys have a lot to prove. Both of them are coming off less than spectacular fights, coming off lots of questions about their careers. You know, Mares, since he's moved up, he hasn't really done anything except get knocked out. So you have to question
Yeah.
if he wouldn't have been smarter to stay down at 122. Santa Cruz, I mean, he's a bigger guy, so I can see him carrying this weight. So for him, this might actually be good. He might actually get a little more pop on his punches, which he's looked like he hasn't had the last few fights against some under-enthusiastic fighters. But this is a good fight. I mean, you know, we know they're both going to come. There's a lot of pride. I mean, as far as a California backyard fight, there's going to be a lot of support both ways. So you can see the enthusiasm is going to be like off the chain for this. This is going to be at StubHub.
I'm looking it up now. Staples
Yeah.
Center, LA. Staples
Oh,
Center,
Oh, I
LA.
thought it was StubHub.
Yeah, could you imagine at StubHub, right? It would be a war. But I mean, I can see Staples because it holds more people. So it still should have the same crowd. We'll see if the atmosphere is going to be as good. We can find out from Gail. But yeah, I'm enthusiastic. I think Santa Cruz is going to have too much for Mares. I think his longer reach and his volume is just going to take over, and later on in the fight, he's probably going to wear Mares down. But I'm excited to see it, regardless of what happens. I mean, you know, one of these guys is probably going to be fighting Regal once he signs with Al Heyman in the future, once his contract with his current manager is over. So either way, you have Frampton, you have these two guys, and eventually you're going to have Regal in there. So it speaks about good potential fights down the road.
What you need, then EJ, your thoughts on this fight?
Man, it's a cool fight. It's a cool fight. You know, this is something everybody wanted to see. Mexico versus Mexico, hot-blooded versus hot-blooded. You know it's going to be a war. However, I believe the more skilled boxer is Abner Mares. If I do recall, he knocked out Ponce de Leon to get the featherweight title. And then his next fight, he admitted that he made a rookie mistake not guarding, and he got caught with the left hook. Of course, he was feinted first. Gonzalez feinted him and then went with the left hook. But what I would say, though, is that I pick Abner Mares to win this fight against conventional wisdom to some degree, because I think that he has more experience. I think he's fought much higher level, top tier competition. I also know Abner Mares sparred Leo Santa Cruz, so he knows a bit, even though it's a very long time ago. He's kind of going to be kind of familiar with the style of Leo Santa Cruz. I believe that Leo Santa Cruz is a great inside fighter, but if Mares keeps him on the outside, yeah, I'll box him. Easy, right? Now, of course, will Mares actually do that? I don't know. See, that's what I don't know. I don't know if he'll just go toe-to-toe with him, or he'll pick spots to engage him and go toe-to-toe with him. If he does that, he's going to win this fight easy, because basically, to me, Leo Santa Cruz is a smaller Antonio Margarito, brilliant inside fighter, busy, keeps you, is a workman, but and he has a nice long jab, but other than that, I mean, he could be outboxed. You turn him, keep on hitting him, turn him, hit him, turn him. So I don't know. I think that Leo is a workman. He's going to be, throwing that activity. He's moving up in weight, facing a guy that's been at the weight class for a little longer than he is, has almost all the advantages over him in terms of skills, in terms of level of.
Ooh. He left out on us for a second. I don't know what happened there with what you need, but he kind of disappeared on us. Unmute your mic, EJ. I'm going to go to you. Your thoughts on this bout? Let me see if I can get what you need back. But go ahead, talk about the bout.
It's going to be a great fight, man. These two are going to throw it down. That cheating Mares, hopefully he gets whooped.
You're not letting that Agbeko bout go on.
No. I interviewed Abeko about Abeko. When I interviewed Abeko was cool about it. He said, nah, it's cool, no problem. But no. This guy's a cheating, dirty fighter. And like we had my hangout yesterday, everyone picking, they're picking Abner Mares to him. I'm just saying Santa Cruz he's younger, he has the reach advantage, has the height advantage. Even the knockout percentage is slightly favored in his way. I'm saying, like, boy, like Leo should win this fight. Like, Leo should win this fight. Now, in terms of the weight classes, now, Mares' resume is better than Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz be fighting sparring partners, bro. he be picking sparring partners. Yeah, he didn't need to, but he's a what? I think he's a free weight or two-weight champion. Mares is legit free weight champion. So, and their records are very similar. This is going to be an all-action fight. Santa Cruz does not fight like a taller fighter. He should, but you know he's not. And man, I can't stand that cheating Mares, man. And I know he gonna be hitting low. I hope Santa Cruz hits him low as well, balances it up. So hope they need to get Smoker in there. Hope Smoker's the referee. He let that shit go, man. Let them bash him. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see. You know what I'm saying? They got Smoker, bro. Hall of Famer Smoker. Hope they don't get no They don't put Gennady in there or Kenny Bayless, man. They're too sensitive. Put Smoker in there. If you want a good fight, all action fighters, and I think it will go the distance, to be honest with you. But someone's eye is gonna be shut down, beat up, and stuff. Though I'm rolling with Santa Cruz, so I can't stand Mares, and I can't stand. When Johnny knocked him out, I was so happy, bro. I was like, he needs to get beat down more. But he's come across in the PBC build-up as, you know, my family. I don't care about boxing. Hey, what it done. But you need to talk about Joseph Becco cheated that man out of his title. That's what we need to talk about. But anyway, that's another side note. I like Leo. I'm going with Leo. So that's what I gotta say. So
I see we got what you need back.
Morrell. Well, what did Cruz do to Morrell? He knocked him out in 5 rounds. What did Mares do with him? He went 12 rounds with him. This is their only common opponent, so use that as what you may.
We'll finish what you were saying, what you need, before you kind of knock that on us.
Basically, I was just saying from that standpoint. Now, of course, Mares was knocked out by Gonzalez. We see what kind of person, you know, his fights. He struggled with a couple of fighters after Gonzalez fight, actually. But of course, those guys were probably in the weight class a while. Santa Cruz is moving up in the weight class. We'll see what happens. But I favor Mares to win. I mean, Mares, like EJ was saying, and Sean, that man hits in the balls. You remember that fight with Joseph Becco?
Becco, yeah.
Man, he killed that guy's balls, man. That wasn't cool at all, man. It wasn't cool at all. You know what I mean? Jeez, I don't.
Did he even get a point taken away during that fight?
He should have gotten a point.
No.
Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, like, I don't remember anything being done about the amount of low blows that he threw in that fight.
And he was saying that Becco was pulling his head down. That wasn't true at all, man. This guy was.
Yeah, he should have got disqualified, but Russell
He was
Moore,
definitely nut hunting that game.
I think that's why I think he got payback. I think Gonzalez knocked him out because of that fight.
Yeah, that referee has never done a major fight. So that referee was disgusting.
Moore, he has done title fights before in the past, but that was. You know. He should have been suspended for that.
He's worse than Lawrence Cole, you know. Lawrence Cole's bad. That guy. Listen, that guy's worse than Lawrence Cole. That man gonna get someone killed out there, man. Joseph should have whacked, because Joseph's a cool dude. Joseph didn't even
He should have hit Mares back in the ball.
I said to him, when I interviewed him, I said, Joe, why are you bagging logos? No, that's not who I am. That's what made it even worse. The guy was Mares, and De La Hoya, who said it was fair. Man, listen, I want to hear nothing. Cruz, I'm going with Santa Cruz all day, every day.
You know who else had a similar situation like that, who also said that was the reason why he didn't retaliate, because that's not the type of fighter he was? When Lomachenko fought against Salido.
Yeah.
Salido was doing, all of the dirty veteran tactics, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And all Lomachenko did was, just keep playing to the ref. Now, from that fight to his next fight, you can tell that he picked up a lot of stuff from that fight. You understand? Because the next fight that he fought, I don't remember who it was, but he got hit low. He turned around. He hit that son bitch back low. He's like, this is not finna go on this time around.
That's right.
That's a learning curve right there.
I believe this in boxing. Everything's fair. It's up to the referee to catch that dirty shit. You understand what I'm saying? That's what the referee's job is, to catch that dirty shit and reprimand the fighters for it. If the fighter's not gonna get reprimanded for it, obviously they're gonna keep doing it.
Yep. And if it's, especially if it's blatant, man. If you're doing your sneaky stuff, I can understand that. The ref ain't seeing it. But it's when you really blatantly doing that stuff, man.
When you're standing out there being Bernard Hopkins, come on now. Something's got to give. Something's got to fucking give.
You know, if you're sneaky and you hit the guy's thigh, you know what I mean? You catch him with, you know, you do.
Right.
Sorry, ref. I just sorry, like just straight a little low.
Yeah, but yeah, that was blatant.
Mares shows what he's willing to do when it comes to the title, man. That kid will do anything, man. He didn't look too good in his last fight. But Mares is willing to do any and everything.
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback off what you said, and I'm gonna go with the upset here and pick Abner Mares. I know, look, Santa Cruz is the taller guy. He's the longer guy. He's the guy's coming in on momentum. But what you just said, EJ, Mares is willing to do anything and everything to win a fight. And because of that, because he's desperate coming off the Gonzalez win, I think he can move more. He can step to the side more on Santa Cruz, who fights one way. If he fights one way, I just think he's just going to put all of himself into this fight, and he's going to find a way to get a decision here.
I disagree.
I'm going to try to get that decision.
I think it's against conventional wisdom. I know that. I know I'm on the other side here. But something tells me that, and if I'm wrong, I will come back next week and eat crow. But just something tells me that Abner Mares is going to pull this fight out.
I disagree on conspiracy. That's all.
Oh, right.
I think Cruz is the up and coming for PBC right now. I think Cruz is that guy right now. So I think that torch is going to stay with him for right now.
But don't you think that Broner lost the fight blatantly to Sean Porter? If Abner Mares blatantly beats Santa Cruz, they can't take it from him.
Oh, I hear you. That's what I'm saying. If that happens, I don't think it's gonna go down like that. I think that sit down talk in the room with that checkbook out is gonna play a big difference in this fight.
Okay.
And he named his son Al.
As you can see on the screen, the stats are clear to see. All the stats favor Leo Santa Cruz.
You're right.
Yeah, on paper it does. Yes.
And plus, I think Mares is going to find a bit of
everything. Look, height, reach. Look, you know, stats don't win fights, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, look, Mario, look at that, man. 5'4.5", 5'7.5". That's tall, man. Look at the reach here, right here. But he don't use it.
Yeah, he don't use the reach.
Exactly, he don't use it. But EJ, listen to this. Who has hit Leo as hard as Mares hits?
No one.
Who has hit Leo in the body as hard as Mares hit? Now, don't get me wrong. I like both of these cats. I liked them a lot more before they signed with Al. I don't know what the hell happens when they sign with Al, but before they signed with Al, I was a really, really, really big fan of both of these two cats. But as of now, I don't understand how Mares can lose this fight against Cruz. But something inside of me is telling me, come on, don't be so naive. You already know what's about to pop off. But if Mares goes in there and he does what he needs to do, like invest in his body. Think about what we're talking about right now. Who has hit him as hard as Mares punches at that weight? Nobody. Who's tested his body? Nobody.
I think that Mares is going to hurt Santa Cruz in the first quarter of the fight, and he's going to ride that momentum to win a decision. And who has Santa Cruz beat? Who has Santa Cruz?
It's not about who Santa Cruz beat. It's about how Mares is going to last through the whole. Mares comes and he fights the same pace the whole goddamn fight. That last fight that or not Mares, Cruz. The last fight that Mares fought, he gassed out really early. Like maybe 5 or 6 rounds. So unless he puts Cruz out within the first 6 rounds, he gonna have a problem. Because Cruz does not gas out. The young cat comes at you the whole doggone fight.
He does.
He has one speed, and that's come forward, throw punches. Come forward, throw punches.
That's how you beat him. The check hook or the right check hook, what Gonzalez catching with, That's what Gonzalez. There's so many ways to beat Mares. So many different ways. You can just keep him at the end of your jab, and that will wear him down.
Yeah, but Cruz don't fight like that. We know better. Cruz don't fight like that.
This is the point. This is the point. What you need said Crawford should do to Gamboa. That's what Santa Cruz should do to Mares. Just use your height, keep the distance, make him work. But this is exactly, that's my point, yeah? That's my point. Like, he don't do that, but if he does do that, this is the point. Someone needs to stab him like 3 times already before you even fight.
Leopard don't change his spots, bro. Leopard don't change his spots, bro.
Nah. This is the thing. You gotta show them. Look, if Santa Cruz comes in and says, bro, you need to use what God gave you, your reach, your height, and make this little short guy work, he'll get tired out. And then you can counter him because you know he throws wide punches. Mares, the wide, who's catch him with that right hook in his jaw and set him up, right? And if he don't hit low, but Santa Cruz need to hit him some low blows, man, low blows, kidney punches, and punches behind the back of the head.
We know what needs to be done from Leo, but we already know that he's not gonna fight big. He's not gonna fight tall. He's not gonna use his body the way he should use it. He's gonna come in behind the guard, the high guard, and just like a fucking bulldozer, just like our favorite fighter Chavez does. That's what Cruz does. He just comes in just like that all the time. And what's gonna happen? And then mark me on this one. Mares is gonna catch him in the body with one of them devastating hooks, and I want to see how Cruz is gonna handle it.
You're not the only one who did that. Someone said it on my hangout. Someone said it on my hangout yesterday. Said exactly the same thing. They said exactly the fight is gonna hit him with a body shot. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah. Because look, look how his frame appears to be so fragile. You understand what I'm saying? He has a very, very tiny frame, and all the bones is just right there to be wrecked. All Mares got to do is fight smart and use that. Punch him in the body. It's going to slow him down. We know this. But is he going to do that? Is his mentality right? Because you know he's still sitting with that Gonzalez spark right at the front of his head. That's going to haunt him for the rest of his career. And you can tell by the way he fights.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz, 9th round TKO. Boom.
I hope so. I would like to see Leo win, but I want to see. I just know it's going to be a good fight. That's why I really want to see this fight, because I know it's going to be a good fight.
Get rid of Mares, man. Get rid of Mares. I had enough of that boy.
Yeah.
I'm serious, man. There's some dudes I can't stand, like cheating. No.
See, he feels about Mares like I feel about Amir Khan.
Amir Khan's alright. Khan's alright.
Look, okay. Listen. But you cannot tell me that he don't be doing some cheating ass shit in the fucking ring and does not get reprimanded for it. Like how he holds, like the excessive holding, how he holds the player's head down, and he punches them with the head down, all of that shit, and he does not get reprimanded for it. Why? Because it's his fucking name.
Yeah. But Peterson got him on that one though. Peterson, that's why I love that Peterson fight. That Peterson fight was hilarious, man. And even
Peterson.
The man Peterson.
Yeah.
I love that shit. But that's why you like Khan, man. Because when he
I don't like Khan.
Nah, Khan. See Khan, hate him, like him. He has exciting fights, but I understand what you're saying. He uses them tactics. But listen, end of the day, he gonna use in the ring, yeah. Like he knows he's not good inside work, so he has to do them sort of devious tactics to get off. That's the reason why he does it, and that's smart in terms of boxing. He understands his strengths. But
I don't like him because of his mouth. I don't like him because he thinks he's the fucking best. You're not the best with losses, bruh.
He promoted himself. He just promoted himself to get you guys to talk about him.
Don't care.
Amateurs always want to fight the very best, man. Always. From Mario Kindling to the best. He always wanted to fight the best. He wanted to fight Tim Bradley. He's always wanted to fight the best. Yeah, he's got a big mouth, but I can't not the guy who always want to fight
He wants to fight the money best. Why won't he fight Brooke?
No. When he was an amateur, he lost to Mario Kindling.
Oh, as an amateur. I didn't know him back in the amateur. I saw him fight. The first time I saw Khan fight was the fight that before he lost to Danny Garcia. or 2 fights before that. I seen him fight against Prescott or some shit like that, and then another fight after that. Yeah, those were my first. Those were my first fights that I've seen of him. Now I've been up to date with him since then, and I'm just growing more and more and more out of American.
American's a really good boxer. The problem with American is his chin.
But it's the thing, yeah. Like all them vulnerabilities, and he still used the best. Like Cody Minaj ain't got no power, and he does what he is still be a champion. The bottom line is this, yeah. Oh, Sean, you got to run. Go ahead, Sean. You want to say something because you got to run. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm off. So have a good one.
Okay, I'll let you next week. I'll let you next week.
Good night.
Good night.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What you gonna say, EJ?
Yeah, I was going to say about Mario Kindling. So Mario Kindling was a 3-time Olympic gold medalist from Cuba. And Amir Khan was 17 years old when he faced him. He got into the finals. And he got a silver medal. He was the only one from GB to do that. And he got all the press, all the media. So he was the media darling over here in the UK before he even turned pro. And he said he wouldn't turn pro until he beats Mario Kindling. He went twice. Mario Kindling beat him. And this is like after the Olympics where it was an organized bout between the two of them. He brought Mario Kindling from Cuba, paid for him to fight him. Mario Kindling beat him in the first match, but in the second match, I can see Mario Kindling was like, man, I can't remember. He kind of let Amir Khan beat him, and Amir Khan said, yeah, I'm going to turn pro. Like, and my thing is, Amir Khan always wants to fight the best. He wants to be a world champion. Yeah, he gets knocked down, but in life, everyone gets knocked down. You come back. His mouth is where it is because he desires, wants to be the very best and fight the very best. That's all it is. And if you look on that, like, I can't dog him. Like, he makes me laugh. When he gets his ass beat, I'm laughing. When he beats people, I give him his credit. So, yeah, like him, hate him. Amir Khan is a douchebag, but boy, it is what it is. I've seen worse. But Mares? Nah, Mares is a dickhead.
He does not like Mares, boy.
Mares don't get no, because you know what it is. You know what it is, yeah. When he bashed up Abeko, he said, yeah, nah, he was hitting Nilo, and there was no indication. The Beko didn't do anything. He was hitting him low. He was being Mares was being dirty. He was doing everything. And after the interview, he goes, nah, it was fair. It was fair. The referee did the right thing. It was disgusting hypocrisy. It was, and boy, that was it. That was it. I can't stand that shit. That was dirty. I don't care what he does from that point onwards until he apologized and said, you know what? I shouldn't have did that. Then I'll let it go. But up until that point, I'm riding him.
What was dirtier? What Mares did to Abeko or what Rumroy did to in his last fight?
Oh, Rumroy was terrible.
Wait. Who is that? Is that the guy with the blonde hair?
Rumroy.
Yeah.
The guy from Thailand. Oh, I can't stand that guy.
You see him, yeah, he was bad, yeah, but the thing is, you give him a pass because he wasn't that dirty in other fights. When he beat the Fist of Gold or the Hand of Gold, Zhao Jiming, whatever, he bashed him up and bashed up Matt Williams and Raw. He didn't use so much of them tactics, so I give him a pass. But that last fight was terrible. It was like a wrestling match, though.
That shit was dirty.
The reason
commentary in that. If I did, I'd just flame the whole thing up. I'd flame up
the reason I don't give him a pass because of the way he fought against Ioka. The way he fought against
Ioka was clean.
The Chinese fighter.
Oh, come on, Ioka was clean. That was a clean work. Come on now.
No, but you're missing my point. You're missing my point. Okay. He didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do it. So the fact that he went there and went to such extent, that's my point.
He's fading though, but you know he's older than fading. I saw him doing that. I thought, yeah, you know what you're doing. You know you're doing. You doing a Klitschko. He know he's fading. He's fading. He ain't got that much legs left, and that's the way I saw it. He's doing all them dirty tactics. It was horrible. Leaning on almost jumping on the guy's back. But you know what? Listen to the thing, yeah. The other dude was hitting them low. They were doing it to a bit to each other, but Mares? Nah, man. No. Mares is the one.
Mares?
Mares is cool, man. Mares is cool.
No, that's funny shit right there.
What do you need? Have you seen the fight?
Yeah. You remember I'm the one that mentioned the Abeko fight, man.
Yeah, he mentioned it. What's that fight? Bro, if you're not pissed, what's that fight?
I was pissed. But you know what pissed me off? When Abeko wasn't going in on Rigo, man. Abeko's known for his offense, man. He's a real offensive fighter. But then this dude was like scared to get countered.
course, if you open up Rigo, we're gonna black. Rigo messed up this orbital bone.
I'm just saying.
Rigo, look what he did to Donne, and look what he did to that Japanese guy.
Yeah, but
he's
Abner Mares damn near castrated him, and now you're afraid to get knocked out by Rigo? Come on, man.
He's speaking to a personality trait, EJ. The fact that he didn't return back against Mares. The fact that he really didn't come forward and force the fight with Rigondeaux. That says something about Abeko, his personality-wise. He should have hit back. He should have hit Mares right back below the belt. If the referee wasn't going to do anything.
You gotta go for that W, baby.
Right.
It's a fight.
You cannot let somebody hit you that low that many times and not respond in kind. There's something wrong there.
You gotta be a dog in there. You gotta dog your opponent. You gotta bring out that dog sometimes.
Nah, Rigon, listen, bro. Let me say.
But if that was you, would you hit him back?
What?
If that was you, if that was you, okay,
they would have to DQ me because I'm gonna hit him. I was gonna hit him.
But the thing is, he was relying on the referee to do that. But listen to this, right? In the Rigo fight, he knew, man, if he opens up, the guy was so quick that he could counter and go for his guard, and Beko had Roger Mayweather in his corner. This is different. Roger Mayweather didn't train him when he fought Joseph Beko, so he had a different style. And Roger was saying, go in there and do this and do that. And then Roger,
he's like, you ain't seeing what I'm seeing.
Roger
was going down.
Roger flamed him up, man. Roger, Beko was crying. You know, Beko after the fight was crying. You know? Roger flamed him up, man. Flamed him up. He said, you waste my time.
You know, Roger's a very aggressive fighter as well.
Roger flamed him up. Roger was getting
when he was coaching Floyd was had to go forward, boy. He was like, walk him down. Walk him down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go to that body. Give him that body work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we're going to end things on that note. I'm going to go around the panel here. I think Sean left us, Jay Dill left us, Daniel left us, so I'll go start with you. EJ Boxing Live, join us live from the UK. For folks who want to talk boxing or anything else, let the folks know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah, EJ Boxing Live on YouTube. Man, I've got Hangouts, Wednesday night predictions, and I'm doing another thing on Friday. Check it out. EJ's movie nights. I'm doing throwback. First movie we're going to do is Scarface. Back in the day, when we talk about that Scarface movie from back in the days, the 80s. So I'm just doing that. And also Boxing Decents Rise Hangout on the Sunday. And also right here, Pound for Pound Boxing Report, the best podcast on YouTube, man. Straight up, man.
Appreciate it. Isha joined us from Jersey. For folks who want to talk boxing or anything else, let the folks know where they can find you.
You can find me on that Twitter at KAYEZEL25 all day, son.
Absolutely. What you need, join us live from Trinidad. For folks who want to talk boxing or anything else, let the folks know where they can find you and talk about the current series you're working on.
Yeah, you can find me right here on Facebook on my name here, What You Need, WATTUNEED. And yeah, I'm working on 2 series. Well, I'm working on all kinds of things. I'm always working on stuff, so you can go to the channel. But the 2 series that I'm still working on is Floyd Mayweather TBE and also Jose Luis Castillo versus Roberto Duran, level of opposition up to lightweight, I think it is. And I've been working on those things for a while, but other than that, there are also other series I do on boxing, different aspects of it. So you guys enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, he left us earlier, Sean from Taiwan. If you want to find him out, he's everywhere, getting the love, getting the hate. Sean Newton, you can find him all over the ITBC. Sean Newton, he's also on Facebook. That's Sean Newton. J Dill, John Aristotle on Facebook. J Dill, that's JDILL here on YouTube and G+. Daniel Carpio, excuse me. You can find him on here on GP as that Daniel Carpio. I'm new to the show. Thank all of them for joining us. If you want to find information about me, y'all know what it is. Brother JR76 on Twitter. If you want to find all things Pound for Pound Boxing Report, please check out the blog page, p4pboxingreport.wordpress.com. Check the right of the page. You can find where to find us all over. Where to find the Pound for Pound Boxing Report all over social media. Just look to the right of the page. Links to where to find the links all over social media, all over the internets, all over the interwebs. On the next episode of Pound for Pound Boxing Report, we will do a recap of Santa Cruz, Abner Mares. We didn't talk about this fight, but we also may do a recap of Hugo Ruiz. He's fighting Julio Ceja on the undercard of that bout, junior featherweight bout, championship, underrun championship. And we will do a preview of Anthony Durrell. He's going to be fighting on not this weekend, but the weekend after. He's going to be fighting Marco Antonio Rubio, and also a rematch between Jamie McDonald and Tomoki Kameda, which was a very good fight.
Boy. That's going
to be a PBC or CBS card. They're going to fight a rematch back in Corpus Christi, Texas. We're going to talk about those two bouts as well.
Lawrence Cole, the referee, mate. Better mind out.
Hell no.
Please don't kid with my emotions like that, EJ. Don't kid with my emotions like that.
Hey, you know they're gonna rub him this time. They gonna buzz last time. They're gonna bring him over. Hey, he's the favorite this time. You know that. Jamie's the favorite. Right? I can't make no money off that. This fight this time.
Don't mess with my emotions like that.
It's true, man. He's moving it like a spider in the corner. Lawrence Cole.
I hope not.
No.
They should know better. I hope not. I hope they see that and say, "Fuck, hell no."
They need to take boxing out of Texas.
You know what they bring? Wait,
just get rid of Lawrence Cole, man. Get rid of him.
Lawrence Cole and Abner Mares is over. It's a wrap.
But
Lawrence Cole, Abner Mares is a wrap. Them two, get away with murder. Get away with murder in the ring.
I know.
Someone's gonna get killed,
but man.
Yeah, someone get killed. Lawrence Cole and Abner Mares in the ring.
Which one is Norris? Which one is Cole? Is that the dude with the Gumby hairstyle? The fade?
Yep. He was at Omara Figueroa versus Ricky Burns.
Right. He was the referee of that bout.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the one that kept moving their hands.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Him and Abner Mares, that's over. It's a wrap.
Yep. Somebody gonna get fucking Marley walked in the ring if those two are Jesus.
Absolutely. So I think we're going to shut the show down on that note. This has been episode 94 of the Pound for Pound Box Report. I want to thank Isha from Jersey, EJ Boxing Live from the UK, What You Need from Trinidad, Sean Newton, who joined us earlier from Taiwan, J Dill, Daniel Carpio. Again, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. Y'all have a good evening, good night.
Peace out.
Peace.